And yeah, maybe today everything might get
Dominant. Hello, am I audible? Done.
30 points. That's quite
गलत चीज ओपन हो गई थी. हेलो कोच. इंस्टा पे स्टोरी डाल देता हूँ. ज्वाइन हो जाए लोग ज्वाइन हो जाए.
Just consistency. He's playing it safe right now. Though from what we're seeing, elimination, they're trying to catch up, but it's placement that they position-wise that they need to do right now. Going back to the basics, just finding the final circle. Now, that's one thing that everyone is underestimating, and they need to go back that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with just Paradox Gaming there. Like, I was watching sort of their playstyle throughout it, and they're getting placement. But the elims, it was like 22, and they've got 41 points. So they are managing to make it to the final circle. But as we saw on like a fair few maps, so is everybody else, because it is just them trying to solidify a spot within zone to then pick up more of those elimination points. But I feel like if they can kind of more take the elims at the start, then go and focus on their rotation, because they were just going straight to zone, which isn't sort of working out for them, being, you know what, bottom three.
Yeah,
They're on the cusp.
and you don't want to stay down there, because as it gets later into the matches, I mean, the pressure is going to start to build up too. We might end up seeing teams parking the bus in a way kind of like England was able to do yesterday, and we saw what happened. They didn't end up qualifying. So you don't want to do that, and you don't want to wait until the end, because the pressure will be there, and you're going to have teams just doing crazy things. One team that might end up doing just that is none other than Gun Dynasty. Let's see what they had to say.
Hello everyone, I'm Yunsul and welcome to day 2. Right here, I'm next to Vega from Gun Dynasty, and here's our Zippo, our translator today. So I heard this is the first time Spanish joined EWC 26 in Free Fire, right? And I wonder, how do you guys feel, and have you guys prepared everything to get into the top 4 today?
¿Han escuchado que esta es la primera vez que un equipo de habla hispana está en una final de Free Fire en EWC? ¿Cómo te sientes al respecto y cómo te has estado preparando para el día de hoy?
Pues nos sentimos con confianza, siento que nos va a ir muy bien hoy, mejor que incluso ayer, y que todo esto se trata de preparación y de cómo están saliendo las cosas.
We are really confident, we have worked really hard to get there, and I think this is all about how much you've prepared and that good things are going to happen to you.
Wow, awesome. Sending a lot of lucks for you guys today. And also, one more question I wanted to ask. Do you guys feel pressure when you step into this battlefield? Because there are so many strong teams in our Group A today. And how will you guys manage all of it?
¿Tienes algún tipo de presión cuando entras en la arena? Porque hay muchos equipos muy fuertes y para lidiar con esa presión.
No, como equipo y como jugador individualmente no sentimos ninguna presión. Sentimos que estamos jugando como si estuviésemos en casa, como si estuviésemos en un día cualquiera, y que esto se trata solamente de confianza en uno mismo.
As a player and as a team, we don't feel any pressure at all. We feel like we're playing like at home, like it is any other day. So I think this is all about how much you believe in yourself.
Oh my god, this is so great because you know when you play on a stage it's really different from playing at home, right? But hearing his answer it makes me feel so good about him. So thank you so much for your interview and also thank you to our Zippo as well and good luck to you today, Gun Dynasty. Thank you for your listening and now let's explore more in EWC 26.
Well, Gun Dynasty, we're expecting that same attitude today. Not being nervous, not feeling any pressure, because one team that didn't feel the pressure yesterday was none other than our reigning champions, Evos. And they started off hot. They were able to get a booyah on the set.
The highest score EFOS had was in game 2, I think. They got 12 placement points and then 17 elimination points, and that was the best of EFOS, the best game that they showcased the whole day. And I think the teamwork between Russia and the other supports are working so much better towards the end. And this actually the thing that separates EFOS from RRQ, if I can say that. They do have the mentality to stay calm, to bounce back from the mistakes that they have, whereas RRQ usually takes a bit more time. It takes them a bit more time to be comfortable, to be okay with the mistakes that they did. And EFOS, that is definitely the reigning champion mentality that they have right there. It was a slow start, but then again, after a few bad calls, they finally started to climb up the ladder and continuously, consistently get the points that they needed.
And something to keep in mind too with this squad is that they are currently in 4th place, right? So I'm hoping that today they're not going to start feeling the pressure right off the bat. They showed yesterday what they were able to do at the start. Did you see them possibly crumbling since they're right there in the 4th place, going directly to the finals or going to survival?
Actually, it's quite the opposite. I'm still pretty sure that EFOS has what it takes to go straight to the next stage without having to go through the survival stage. I mean, 111 points, 70 elimination points. That is quite big for EFOS. And I'm not saying that just because I'm Indonesian, obviously, but I do think they have what it takes. Again, it's a slow start, but I think that's where it's different because when we see the way of the other teams are playing, the other Southeast Asian teams are playing, they came out
stuck over.
Very strong. I mean, let's say Buranam United Esports, they bring out the big guns from the very get-go, but EFOS, they try to at least read the situations first. They try to be comfortable with it, and that's exactly what they did. They got better and better and better each game.
One team, Neptune, that's going to be hunting them down, making sure that they get within those top 4 is going to be none other than Loud, the Brazilian squads. It's not just Southeast Asia here. Brazilian squads have been able to show up, and I know you're keeping a close eye on what Loud's been doing in regards to their game scope.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially now.
बस अब फ्री फायर की Watchparty करते हैं BGMI की Watchparty अगस्त में है ना BGMI PUBG मोबाइल का बहुत कम आवाज है मेरी रुको ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए मेरी आवाज कम है अब चेक कर
position-wise, but hopefully that will not be read for the other teams.
You know what? Cursed the team yesterday. Today we're gonna blast the team. Which team are we gonna blast? I need a quick answer though. Lace?
हेलो सही है हाँ PUBG मोबाइल में तो करना ही है भाई क्योंकि PUBG मोबाइल में तो OGB है और बोर्ड लाइक भी है बहुत मजा आएगा PUBG मोबाइल में 5 पार्ट देंगे फुल सपोर्ट है गोड लाइक और अभी भी भाई मस्त है अभी इसमें टोटल गेमिंग और SATL है तो अभी SATL को सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा ना SATL है ब्रो SATL को सपोर्ट करेंगे ना ओ रुको उसका स्क्रीन कैप्चर की वॉइस थोड़ी कम कर देते हैं ताकि मेरी आवाज़ ज़्यादा है सही है ना एंट्रीज हो रही है शायद सारे प्लेयर्स की एंट्रीज हो रही है या तो हो गई है कुछ तो कर एंथम बजा रहे क्या है फुल होप्स फॉर गुड लाइट हाँ वो तो है भाई क्या मुश्किल पहले पता है अभी वो PUBG और कुछ हाँ पिच भी है पर पिच के मैचेस कल मैंने देखे थे पिच अच्छा खेलती है पर यह ईवोस वगैरह क्या खेलती है भाई मस्त खेलती है ईवोस मस्त खेलती है ईवोस लाउड है कल मैंने मिस कर दिया थे मैचेस वो ग्रुप बी के ये आप देख आ गई भाई क्या टीम है हमारी भाई जैकेट्स मस्त दी है ये देखो सूट मस्त सही इसके सूट्स ये फाल्कन है देखो ये देखो फाल्कन कहाँ की टीम है होस्ट बहुत तगड़ा है ये बंदा बहुत अच्छा होस्ट करता है हाँ वो तो है भाई मस्त होस्ट है बूरोरा ने कल 3 बूया किए थे भाई फर्स्ट में ये देखो ये देखना सिक्स ये क्या कर रहे हैं टॉप 4 जाएगी फाइनल्स हाँ टॉप 4 फाइनल्स जाएगी फिर जो भी टॉप 4 रहेगी फाइनल्स जाएगी बाकी बॉटम 2 एलिमिनेट हो जाएगी और जो बीच में वो सर्वाइवल्स खेलेंगे सारे ऐसा कुछ है सीन पर बोरोरा मस्त खेली तक कल 3 बूया खेले 3 बूया निकाले भाई उसने खेल रही थी बोरोरा लाउड मस्त टीम है भाई फाल्कन्स भी अच्छी है फाल्कन्स ने 2024 में निकाला था मस्त चैंपियन थी वो
Don't forget, if you want to survive, your only goal is to avoid these bottom 2 spots.
Yes.
12 teams enter the Gadia City grid, but only 10 will make it out.
Let's go, let's go TG. Let's go Team India.
For day 2 of Free Fire at the Esports World Cup.
टोटल कितने मैच होते हैं 6 मैच होते हैं इसमें ये लोग के हमारे जितने ही होते हैं अब 1 डे में वो टोटल 18 मैचेस होंगे टोटल 3 टीम का है 18 या 12 मैचेस 6 हाँ 12 हो गए शायद मोस्टली पेरिस जाना पड़ेगा गाइस सपोर्ट करने और कुछ नहीं ओहो एसएटीएल है ब्रो क्या मारता है ये फ्री फायर थोड़ी समझ आने लगी है आज और एक्सप्लोर करेंगे अपन थोड़ा गला बिगड़ा हुआ है गौरव भाई कितने बड़े फैन हो मानव भाई के बड़े नहीं हो सकते अरे गौरव भाई मुझे मिले थे कोलकाता हम कोलकाता गए थे ना लेन पे तब मिले थे गौरव भाई तुम तो बड़े फैन हो ड्रोन सर ठीक है भाई मजाक कर लो आप ड्रोन सर भाई रुको मैं पोल बनाता हूँ पोल बनाते हैं पोल एक मिनट
Even Dix gets eliminated and Games King was the last man standing. And it is going to be MIB Alas getting the final booyah of Group B's day 1.
Ladies and
मैच स्टार्ट होने वाला है भाई
Esports World Cup 26 here in
मैच स्टार्ट होने वाला है गाइस
Day 2 of the group
Full
stage,
मजे
which means that hopes will be crushed and dreams will continue to be built for the survivors. We have 12 teams from Group A, but only 10 will go forward to either the survival stage or the grand finals, depending on their standings. My name is Husky, and I'm joined by Lucifer here with some 6-7 performances from some of these teams, but that's not the spot you want to be in.
भूल गया कहाँ से बनाते हैं ये रहा
Because because you want to skip the survival stage, which means you skip 10 games.
Exactly, it's going to be very crucial that you get yourself out of this grinder of a survival stage. Well, we say there are 10 games, but then those 10 games are not going to be easy at all because everybody's looking forward to another 4 slots tomorrow. Hopefully they don't go there. They make it out.
गोल बना रहा हूँ.
And especially we've been
आज
talking
एस
about
कितने
Group A,
पॉइंट्स मारा
which
खुद
has teams
एस
with
टीएजी और
ones, the ones who've been the
टीजी
champions,
बताओ
they walk away into the
गोल में
finals
बताओ
itself. The other teams will have a very big trouble moving into the survival stage.
And
40
that's, ironically, something that a lot of these squads are hoping to happen,
Yeah,
right? They are
maybe.
hoping that the heavy hitters, the front runners,
Okay.
get directly to the grand finals, so it makes the odds for tomorrow better. And usually you don't want to hope for your opponents to win, but in this case, for some of our hopefuls up here, some of our first timers,
Yeah.
they want that to be a possibility. They want to increase their
45.
chances. And speaking about chances, Gun
45
Dynasty,
points.
they're looking good, they're feeling confident, they believe that the hard work will pay off, and I personally believe in that as well. Yesterday's
बताओ
performance was great. Now we need to
मानो
see them
भाई
push
के
through to
चलता
finish.
हूँ बाद में हम मिलेंगे रात को ठीक है आप कहाँ आजकल मिलते हो बड़े
That's
लोग
where the entire competition right now seems here at Esports World Cup 2026.
आप तो कहीं घूमने जाते हो कॉलेज वगैरह मुझे पता है I know that. कहाँ जाते हो रुंजर भाई
That is unbelievable in such a high intense, high octane stage.
Yeah, I can't believe. I think it's like the mental fortitude and just the prep that they had, right? First time stepping onto such a big stage and having such confidence. And why wouldn't you be confident sitting in second place, just behind Buriram United Esports, who are at the top, of course, with
Buriram bhai,
8
kal
elimination
din
points.
kar hai.
But if we take away that 3 booyah, Gun Dynasty isn't that far behind, right? They are only 3 eliminations behind Buriram United Esports, followed by HJL, and then our defending champions on 25, which is Evos.
आज भी ये
With 2 booyahs under the bag, Team Falcons catching up in the later stages of Group A. The top 6 look incredibly strong, but then we see the separation between 6 and 7.
Yeah, big difference around the 6 and 7. 58 points is where Aurora right now start off, and that's almost around a 30-point difference. This is not going to be an easy jump up, and that is the reason we've been talking about. Like, yes, at the end of the day, we're going to be going to the Crusher to take away dreams. It could happen for some of them. They have to jump up, and in terms of those dreams, has to be the South Asian teams. That is Titan Esports Club and Demon's Pride. They all had a great start. For Titan Esports Club, they have eliminations working for them. It's the placement points that they'll start working towards. Maybe they might manage a chance towards the survival stage. I think that is a hit they have to look forward to.
You got to full stage for the next 6 rounds, and we actually, even during some of the team intros, we saw the South Asian teams, right? You can feel the nervousness, right? There is some tension in the air, and hopefully it breaks when they hop into the lobby. Yesterday was all about getting comfortable, right? Getting the seats warm, and hopefully when you sit back down, you are in the zone. You are feeling, comfortable enough to let yourself go and just play freely. And I think that's the toughest part. People always say that you play the best when you have nothing to lose, when you play freely and have fun, but it's pretty tough when you have so much on the line.
But Gun Dynasty,
ये मोस्ट क्या पैटर्न्स
seem
बनाते
like
हैं
they're taking that direction at all. They've been completely keeping themselves away.
भाई ब्राजील वाले तगड़े इंसान है भाई
Lot at stake. The
क्या
smart
जंग
time on the
जंग
stage,
जंग
they
जंग
are
करते
not
रहते
thinking
हैं
about it. They're making sure they put the best performance of Free Fire ever seen.
बाद में 25 की
And
देखते
they're
हैं
able to
इससे
deliver. Sitting at the second
कल
spot,
में
3
25 से
eliminations
कॉपीराइट
away
नहीं
from the
देंगे
team at the very top, tells you the caliber that they're walking here in Paris and looking forward to their global title, taking it away from Evos.
But
Evos, yes, got their booyah, but is it going to be enough for them?
And I'm going to take it a step further.
Evos भाई Evos मस्त टीम है
Difference in terms of elimination compared to PRU.
टीएजी भी तगड़ी टीम है हमारी भाई
The main difference is the
टीएजी
because if PRU have one less
हमारे
booyah,
छोरों
they would already be at the
दो
top.
वाले
It is
छोरों से कम है
closer
क्या
than it is. And if you put that into perspective, it's a very scary thought. You said that, for a team that
हमारे ये
is
छोरे
on this
वो
stage,
छोरे से
play
कम है
freely
क्या
with as if there's no pressure at all. For a first timer, that is even more insane. So right now, I
Next
think
fight
hopping
streaming
into
कर रहे हैं
today's games,
सही है
rotation are going to be slightly
Next fight को
different.
बोलो रेड
Yesterday we
मार
did have the more Indonesian heavy favorite rotation in the second half, but today we get double purgatory. And you know what that means? Brazil and Thailand are going to be elated, but we'll start
Zero
that off
four
with
more
Kiev
jump
with
कर
the
रहे
classic
loud
opener
Falcon
for
was
Bermuda. Let's hop into game 1 of Group A on day 2.
And this is where every team needs to start, especially the ones in the middle order as well as the teams.
भाई क्या चल
If
रहा
they
है?
don't start making points now, they will not be
Hello,
able to catch up
hello,
with the race,
everybody.
especially because now the Crusher is in front of everybody. And the map starts off
बोलो ना
the entire play
लाउड इधर के फाल्कन
Even if when you look at your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the amount of booyah some of these teams have.
TNG के साथ ड्रॉप फाइट है
I say some
TRS का
booyah split amongst 3 teams.
TRS ये देख DRS वाले ये भाई KD के पास मस्त चांस है KD के पास मस्त चांस है देखो ना
because it is separated by eliminations.
DRS को मारने का ओए दिया 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 दिया
Very important. We see some early
DRS फंस गई इधर पता था DRS ने PDH वालों को मार दिया
starting off right.
क्या बात कर रहे हो
They look decent. I really like how they played. We were talking about them yesterday.
क्या जम मार रहा है
Backstage and looking at the game. They start off well. They have their one
भाई DRS ने आते ही बर्स्ट किल कर दिया इवोस ने भी एक किल ले लिया एक फिनिश इवोस ने भी ले लिया अच्छा खेल के
eliminations already.
हेलो गाइस वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम
Why are the defending ones right here on EWC? But now challenge coming in from Pina. He's already taken one down. Damage big time. And Backs is in big trouble.
ओ भाई 1v1 हो गया फाल्कन और बस का टूटूस
Bailed out by the mini Uzi in the CQC. There's a full spray down onto Pina. 4 points for Evos at the start.
पेन मार देना कोई मजा आ जाए
Falcon's not out just yet. In fact, the whole team has been brought back, so we're back to square one. DRS though continues to rack up points by picking up stragglers. This time from Paradox Gaming.
Say hi.
Windy himself catching Alu out in the open, but again the mini Uzi is the superior weapon.
What an individual battle being laid down by DRS.
एक मिनट दो गाइस एक मिनट
Yesterday as well, and I think this is very consistent performance coming in, especially for the teams from Nepal. This is something that I expected when I was seeing these South Asian teams play out, and DRS are delivering. Can they deliver to the top 4 is a question.
But nice one. Nice one. क्या किया? क्या दिया भाई? DAG मारा रही है DRS को. भाई शॉटो खेला बच गया. ओह भाई कवर किया मिला KD को. Very good. Yes.
To stand with the team today, and he finds the opening.
And you had your opinions about these two teams that both started off good. For DRS is they are like the early round wonders. You need to see more consistency, but for TAG they need some time to warm up. And I think it's falling into place for now as AGAL finds himself a basically isolated Axo. So that's their 4 point. Rest of Aurora Gaming out of there. Jun will have to drive along the coastline. But AGAL, we know when they smell blood, they are going to keep on
TP versus TSC, alright. TP versus TSC, bro.
And Jazzy able to
TP versus TSC, alright. मजा आने वाला है.
Demon Sprites still haven't found their openings. No eliminations.
TAG ने 2 pieces निकाल रहे हैं. ये TAG का पूरा है. 20 pointer है. जय माता दी, जय माता दी. Let's go.
But in the mix of this, the last player Jun gets found and Aurora are out again.
That was scary. For half a second there,
TSC.
And almost
ओए भाई. TAG मार चेस कर रही है. प्रतीक भाई गए इधर से. प्रतीक भाई गए देख लो. प्रतीक भाई गए. वो प्रतीक भाई ने कम रख दिया. रिवाइव कर रहे हैं. रिवाइव भी कर सकते हैं, हील भी कर सकते हैं. और TAG आज कुछ खा के आई है मस्त. आज क्या खा के आई है पूछना पड़ेगा. जोनाथन भाई ने कुछ खिलाया है आज. जोनाथन भाई ने खिलाया है. जोनी ने कुछ खिला दिया है उसे. जोनी ने कुछ खिला दिया है.
But it's not going to be enough. Today they have to rake up a lot of points because the difference.
जोनी ने कुछ खिलाया है.
Gotta keep up to that, live up to that name, right? Yeah. If you call yourself KD God, you better rack up some numbers here.
जोनी ने कुछ खिला दिया है TAG वालों को आज.
Currently in 11th place. Last we checked in on the.
Comeback दे रहे हैं.
They're 4 points already.
Comeback दे रहे हैं.
You know, in all honesty, in a lobby that already
slower
than what we saw yesterday is a good thing, right? My personal prediction is that
Rocket. भाई क्या पोजीशन है इन पे. मस्त है पूरा एंगल मिलता है यहाँ से. देखो ना
for teams
TAG
with a lot
ओह
of
TAG
power,
पे
the
PDH
ball
वाला चढ़
start
गए
racking up
वो
some points.
केडी कोड को रिवाइव चाहिए कवर देने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं ये रहा बीच में आ गया ओह किल ले लिया पर PDH पांचवा किल TAG का ब्रो TAG का पांचवा किल है भाई
It's going to be windy now.
विंडी
In the open, Shoto
भाई विंडी को
saw that exchange. And Enrique
भाई TAG वाले आज को खा के आए मस्त
at all as Paradox
ये देखो ना ओ भाई आज डोमिनेट करेगी TAG
points under the belt.
आज तो पक्का डोमिनेट है 6 eliminations 6 elimination bro आज TAG भाई टॉप 4 आ रही है TAG टॉप 4 आ रही है आज देख लो
When we go down the food chain, it is going to eventually come down to the placement points, right? Like the longer it takes for teams to get removed from the lobby, the harder it is to bag those placement points. And finally, we see the heavy hitters.
हाँ पक्का टॉप 4 है आज मिल सिटी भाई टॉप 4 है मतलब पक्का टॉप 4 है आज TAG मार रही है तो टॉप 4 पक्का है देख लो स्मार्ट है देखो ये BDH का अकेला बंदा है देखो ना इधर ये रिकॉल करने जा रहा है कहीं वो चिड़ी पे चढ़ गई वो क्या मार रही है भाई आज तो खत्म है भाई चेस कर रहे भाई भाई चिड़ी वाले को भी मार दिया भाई TAG 10 elimination सोचो
And Benel,
खत्म है
coincidentally, is also the star of the team as he gallops away.
भाई
Try and find some safety net.
चिड़ी वाला ये रिकॉल करने चला गया रिवाइव रिकॉल करने गया DRS का भी आखिरी बंदा बचा था वो भी शायद रिकॉल कर देगा
GD not out just yet, and this was something a concern that you brought out.
ये देखो कैसा लग रहा है ये कौन सा फोन दिया है कौन सा डिवाइस है इनके पास किसी को आइडिया DP के ऊपर चढ़ के फाल्कन लिमिट इट्स TB वर्सेस फाल्कन गाइस DP वर्सेस फाल्कन हेलो एवरीबॉडी हेलो 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 से हाय ओ भाई टॉप भाई ने मार दिया यहाँ से डेमन स्प्राइट के ऊपर चढ़ रहा है फाल्कन वाले चेस कर रहे हैं आज फाल्कन वालों को आज खत्म है फाल्कन वाले आज टीम में भाई डोमिनेट करते अच्छे तो भाई TAG वाले दे रहे हैं पूरा दबा के आज तो ये भाई खत्म है
And of course, with the Skylar in the hands of Limit, it was easy pickings. Falcons raking up 10 eliminations, entering the double-digit club. 10 teams remain. We did lose Aurora very early on, like what we seen yesterday. Paradox being the recent casualty. DRS still in the lobby, but with only one survivor left. Rimnam Village completely taken over by the Falcons as they make their nest here. We can expect a bit of a rotation afterwards because the circle did move to the eastern side of the map.
Eastern and completely southern, and that is the reason we end up seeing teams here. But Falcon now have another trouble in front of them. The ones who they are sharing the overall rankings with, that's going to be loud in front of them. Takuri, the last one who was in the deep waters, will also be found and fished out. And with that, DRS are out. But right now, with the boat maker being called, the fight breaks out between Falcons as well as Loud. Loud Snickers, they want this fight. They want to get back and make sure they stabilize their position. As we said, SCA versus Brazil, they want to make it Brazil, but it's not happening. It's a quick
it's Loud, Falcon. It's Loud, bro.
manages to confirm on Pina. That's
Falcon versus Loud.
Taking out the CQC player.
He also spotted the rotation of Guaksha, so Limit is not going to let it out of sight. Nix actually fights Limit, the backstab. Perfectly done, and BCP back up on his feet. Loud Snickers outdoing Falcons. Keroro on the run with the launch pad. BZP not able to find the track. And Falcons escape with their tails between their legs, but not fully clipped yet. Pina was brought back, but Loud Snickers now take control.
What a fight that was to hold it off and BZP to put Limit over there. if he did not find, because Limit was already helping his teammates out with the sniper, and that is the reason taking out bits and pieces of Falcons worked out for Loud. First take down the CQC player and then go for the one in the long range made a wonders. AGL on the other end, sneakily, they've been pulling up eliminations for themselves, 7 eliminations, and I think in the top 4 so far that we've seen teams, AGL are the ones who are very consistent, safe and sound, and not troubled by any team so far.
Same as BRU, right?
Yeah.
Both of these teams have been chilling a bit. We say that they have been taking it slow, but then when you look at the eliminations, AGL actually has 7 eliminations off screens, and most of it is just picking off stragglers and catching teams in rotation. But most of these teams, they were able to get those revives in, and this is why we still have 9 full squads, almost 9 full squads less for Demon's Pride. BRU now making their rotation just past Pochinok. A good chance that they run into GD again, who has been giving them some problems yesterday.
Gun Dynasty, yes, today has been a problem for their own. Hopefully they soon recover. But right now, Demon's Pride, they spot a problem in front of them. That's going to be Loud. A quick run with a boost in the vehicle they took, and they take the compound right next to Demon's Pride. 3 players, Jazzy, Aswab, and Madara. They have to figure an approach because Loud have been looking louder than ever here on day 2 for the top 4 spots.
Absolutely. And it seems like Demon's Pride are thinking about standing their ground, but there could be intervention from EVOs who are right behind them, just silently watching this go down. We see the UAVs being sent out. And I think Lao Snickers are doing the good move. This is a very classic pincer, right? You surround the compound and suddenly whoever is in those buildings becomes the one that is trapped. DP are starting to feel that pressure.
Yeah, today, I think Gun Dynasty, while they did not feel any of it yesterday, it is about qualifications. It's about keys at stake. It's about making it to the final. And right now, even Titan Esports start putting players down, doing the damage, and Evo's helping out. Unfortunately, one of the eliminations was stolen away, but they still have the eyes on the Falcons. The verticality has changed Falcons out of the ground, whereas Titan Esports are on the roof right now.
Yesterday we got very trigger circles, but I think today things are going to only get worse. Look at the circles right on the open, right? Like, if you are not good, if you are not
वो चिड़ी वाले ने ये पोजीशन ले ली ये देखो अब ये लोग ये दोनों को कैम मारेंगे अब ये दोनों को होल्ड मरवाएंगे ये थ्रेड मस्त चीज है वो भाई टीएजी को पास क्या ये नेड मारते हैं भाई क्या मार रहे हैं TAJ versus TAJ भाई AGL के ऊपर मार रहे हैं भाई TAJ versus AGL क्या कर रहा है
Medigun to Hugh Shoto back up. The tip of the spear for TAG lies in his hands. Barrow's getting flanked out. Sahujan almost getting the takedown. That could have made a world of difference here, but it does put AJL in a dangerous spot. Right forward is Cypher that manages to break this fight wide open. TAG down one.
TAG down हो गए, दूसरा भी down हो गया. वुल्विन के ऊपर है.
But AJL will be the one.
Brilliant caliber and
position
played out by AJL.
पर उन्होंने मस्त मारा ना स्टार्ट किया था अच्छा स्टार्ट मस्त किया था स्टार्ट मस्त किया था
became a disadvantage for them, but right now spreading themselves around, we saw
start must
coming in from Loud, the smartest one. They're ahead of Demon's Pride, and now they have vision. And Evos are also being troubled by Loud, and now even Demon's Pride trap already getting closer. He's already found an opening on the front. Jazzy is also down. Demon's Pride, last man standing, and the death from trap. The M79 strikes death for Demon's Pride.
And off-screen Team Falcons also dispatched by BRU, and now they turn their attention over to AGAL. Nameless did get popped early on, but there should be a recovery. Titan Esports still has Blade around. And is he sharp enough to cut through the ranks of the Goliaths in front of him? Out in the open. This is going to be tough. No utilities, 2 glue walls, and only 5 medkits. As BRU will also have to make a break for it. Once more doorway out of this. The exit straight into the line of sight of Lao Snickers and potentially Evos.
This is what should not happen on your day 2 where you're looking forward to qualification. All the top 4 teams are still surviving. Buriram, AGAL, EVOS and Loud. It's only Titan Esports Club all the way at the bottom who has the last player standing, and he doesn't have any position in the zone. So a lot of points which could have been acquired for teams for qualification are being missed out. Blade will be spotted, quickly taken down by Cypher, and we come down to the last 4 teams. And
बुरा भाई और बुरा versus Loud चल रहा है.
To the face, but getting top back up by the therapy. The support system
मजा आने वाला है, मजा आने वाला है.
but BRU focus on Loud Snickers and
बुरा का नुक कर दिया.
as Loud Snickers and AJL work hand in hand for the elimination, and now they turn on each other.
AGL, they are inside a circle. Yosha gets taken down. Cypher wants to put BCP down in the truck. He's not been able to do, but finally that strike coming in from Dew, and Evo's Divine helping out as well. Nyx becomes the last man standing as Evos go out. Cypher has already spotted him, wants to whack him out, but Nyx, he's trying to isolate this fight. He brings it down, players are falling down, and eventually it'll still be AGAL. They had the number.
Very first booyah in the group stage, and even without it, they were in the top 4 spot. So imagine when you give AJL such a big boon. Fantastic performance. We saw the hold earlier on where they came back from a disadvantage, and it was all because of one minor detail: Barros surviving in the backline. If you don't break the backbone of AGAL, they will break you instead, and that is exactly what was achieved. Them and Lau unintentionally working together to get rid of BRU, but then AGAL found a perfect engage onto Loud.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity where Loud, if they had a chance to recover themselves after the fight, being at the edge of the zone, it could have been their booyah as well. They've already pulled so many yesterday. It could have been added on third today. We spoke about it, even in a position where they had to climb up the hill against Team Apex Gaming. If that did not work out, we would have seen AGL go out very early on, but they held their own. They held their front there, and it worked out, and now they've gotten their very first booyah here on day 2. Especially being at the top 4 hurts the middle order.
Yeah, but there are definitely flowers that need to be given to some of the teams that are in desperate need of points, right? I mean, TEC, TAG, well, they came out strong. DRS as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's some great stuff happening, but let's listen in to what AGL were talking about leading up to that booyah. Again, another performance from AJL that I think shook the opener of day 2. But I would say, right, this goes back to the potential of our secondary scenario. If this trend continues, then might as well let them go through. Let them go through, and we have some of the teams who are chasing for their qualification to grand finals play tomorrow. An extra 10 games, but I guess without these heavy hitters being a big threat, it makes the chances slightly better.
It makes the chances slightly better if you think about the survival stage, but as you looked at the performance right now, the bottom dwellers, the last 2 who were there, even Titan Esports Club and Demon Sprite, they try to make it towards the top 6 teams, meaning they're acquiring placement points, they're getting eliminations, and they're trying to get themselves out of that elimination threat, meaning the middle order, now it's completely dicey. So you don't know who's going to get eliminated, so better be wary. Either you strike towards the top 4, or you don't know if you're going to get eliminated or not.
Yeah, there's always that safety net, I believe, for any Free Fire competition, right? If I can't take that top spot and qualify, the bare minimum, I make it out alive to the next stage. And so if you can't aim for top 4, aim for top 10.
But I'm not sure if it's going to be as easy as it sounds or as easy as we make it sound. Because look at Gun Dynasty, they were barely able to get 2 points in this game. That tells you day 1 and day 2 can be completely drastically different. It cannot replicate the same performance, and that's what even AGL, to get their very first booyah, allowed to go out like that, tells you that teams are slowly, strategically planning their championship. They want their trophy, their key.
This group was a group of teams that basically they enter the boxing ring and they just start swinging, right? They're just filling their arms, they're trying to get some haymakers in, and then maybe after 6th round of just mindless brawling, they decided, okay, that kind of hurt a little bit. We got to slow down. And the teams that actually made it work are the front runners. AJL, very patient. BRU, very patient. Laos Snickers, very patient. And patience paid off.
Yep. Completely. The top 4 teams surviving till the very last and also being the last 4 surviving teams. That patience, that holding game off, actually playing as survivors and knowing that they don't have a lot at stake to go out. Whereas Gun Dynasty, something that we were talking about, if they miss their performance today and if Falcons rise up the ranks, they might get pushed down. We already spoke, yes, they have high number of eliminations, but that's not going to cascade and help them out to directly qualify if they don't put up a decent performance today.
Yeah, I would say that they do have a safety net with the points they have, and let's see how much longer they can lay in that bed of roses. We're gonna let them lie down and rest for a little bit, as we will be right back with more Free Fire action.
Play
is prepare. So
it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
What an intense opener. AGAL secured the first booyah of the day. We are now back on stage with Mavxx and Chita Caroline, and of course, we have Yunsul here. That was exciting, right?
Yes.
What a game, what a match. I mean, what even is that last circle, Yunsul?
That was crazy. That was really intense. Imagine we have 5 teams, very strong teams compete with each other. And lastly, only one survived, which is AGAL. And so incredible. I have been watching them since yesterday until today. And finally, they got their booyah. I was waiting for that for the whole day.
Yes, and what's amazing is that AG actually scored the highest elimination points the other day in one game, and that was the 5th game. They got 19 points. I'm pretty sure they were able to be doing that again today, hopefully. But seeing what we just saw in the first game, I think things are looking quite promising. Right?
Yes, from what I can see from yesterday, they have been playing very stable. Even though there's no booyah, but still, as you said, the elimination points was on point, on peak. They were doing so best, and today, finally, after game 1, they got 1 booyah. But still, the first ranking here is Buriram United Esports, which is 149 points for the first ranking. Well, this is our stage hit for the after game 1. Thank you, Conchita, and thank you for your listening. Let's head back to our casters.
Thank you very much to our lovely angels, Yunsu and Conchita. We got a lot more in store here at the Free Fire at EWC 2026. Again, Paris can only get more and more lovely with these actions as we quickly drop into map number 2. And this time we're going to change it up a little bit. We did mention earlier on that the map rotation will be slightly different today. And AJL have started off strong with a booyah. So let's see if they can keep that train going.
It is Solara that we drop down to. And another opportunity for the teams at the middle order as well as at the bottom. And you can already see a quick swap because of how Titan Esports Club played. And we mentioned this. They need placement points. They instantly got it. And now up.
And now they're in a great spot. Yeah, we cool. We complete each other's sentences. But I will say that whatever we sort of like set up yesterday is slowly coming true, right? We talked about Demon Sprite needing to come up. And again, taking a fight with Paradox early on. It's Aswap. They get wiped out first. Enrique, we see here, he has great survival instinct for game 1, but Toxic seems to hunt him down. Aswap instantly brought back. TEC now joins the fight. That is a team that we've been watching out for at the start of day 2. Najat in the fray of things. Rahat also coming in, and Blaze slicing through the ranks of Demon Sprite.
Oh no, Aswap in the mid-air has been spotted by Gun Dynasty, and he will be taken down. Demon Sprite are losing players once again. Paradox get eliminated in the mix of this. And Paradox, who just got pushed to the bottom 2, at the start of our game 8, match 8.
Talk about kicking them while they are down, and they are out. Paradox, a very unfortunate early exit, completely swarmed by multiple teams in the earlier stage. Whether it's desperation or a change of pace for some of the bottom dwellers, it has been working out in favor of teams like Apex Gaming, Demon Sprite, Titan, DRS. I mean, even for GD, able to pick off a couple of stragglers on their own. But it does come at a cost of teams who are just half a second slower to respond.
DRS want to be the quickest one to respond right now. They did spot AGAL, but they take the fight to Titan Esports Club, and Najad is taken down. And it is the wisest calls I feel right now coming in from DRS, and they're making a run for it. Rahat and Blade, they just have the stairs that they are being protected by, but DRS, they are on a charge. They want to go for a hit. Adu was backing off, uses the chrono, and is now safe and sound, but at least this gives away the position of where the players from Titan Esports Club are. But it's only these two. The other players are in the other direction, revived and are healthy.
Pratik is actually getting pressured as well, forced to take the zipline away. Takuri actually getting tagged in the meantime, was brought down. But this was sort of like the demise of Paradox Gaming. A very quick and painless one. At least they take the bottom spot. Aurora still in this game, which is a blessing in disguise if you are a Malaysian team supporter here. But Blade just absolutely popped Rasha. Great shot from afar. Rahat called in for reinforcement. Aurora this time stand their ground and will not be taken out by AGAL in the earlier stages. Jun up the stairs. Cypher barricades himself safely. And Axel with the follow-up. Cypher is out.
He'll be confirmed. It's up to Barros and Dew, who's in his flight mode right now, dropping in air. If he gets spotted out, trouble will strike. And Aurora, they need a game like this. They need a recovery game, and it might happen on Solara, where everybody's forced for a fight. Barros tried to hold his own, but he'll not be able to. At least the revive happened. Therefore, there is still chance for AGL, and they don't have to be worried about. However, Aurora, they needed these four crucial eliminations.
The good news for Aurora is that they are not close to the bottom two. But bad news is that they technically only have 5 games to play, because game 1 they didn't really get anything done. So the catch-up game, there's a lot more urgency for them compared to the rest of the teams.
I have selected something new. Hope it works.
So far playing on Solara,
Let me
it's
check.
one of the maps that they are slightly more comfortable in. Loud Snickers playing a bit of Stroax, completely found out in the open. Loud Snickers with their first point.
Check.
Loud are playing, I think, a brilliant game so far. Ending up in the top 4, making sure they stay the top 4 way that they are in, and it continues that they make it to the final as well. We've already been seeing their counterparts from Brazil, MIB are lost in Fluxo. They're keeping their toes matched up, and I think that's what Loud want to do. And if that's a majority of all the Brazilian teams who made it here to EWC, all going to the finals, there is a big chance for them to walk away with being called the champions.
It's a lot of pressure also, because when we look at even the, I want to say from the earlier days until now, you would expect teams from Thailand and Brazil, if they qualify to a tournament, they're expected to all make it to the grand finals. It is quite the weight to shoulder, and especially for Loud, who has been on the big stage. They've missed out. They're not, you know, they don't have 100% attendance, but when they're there, a lot of eyes are on them, right?
Yeah.
Aside from Fluxo, like Loud is the second team that you sort of want to make it to the finals and give a good match, but it has always been so close.
But also made that happen, and that's the reason this challenge happens. However, Jun's lost. That is Lasha coming in.
No way.
क्या मार रहा है, क्या मार रहा है?
Confirmations, Aurora are losing players one after another. That's Lasha for you. He once again, he was back in action. Aziel spotted. Aim God puts him down, and it's the
भाई अरोरा को चेस कर रहे हैं ये लोग.
out of Evos, or will he be found out? Damage done, HP lost. His position completely compromised. It's just a boulder, and the direction that he's running away, I don't see a vending machine to help, nor a team to help out. And Axel will just try and buy time for the time being, because Evos have a distraction.
क्या होल्ड मार रहा है अरोरा? Aurora भाग गया.
Aurora had that bit of a mechanical error, caused them to be in this spot, but again, Demon's Pride, who are also hungry for some points, they ended up being the intervention that Aurora desperately needed in times.
This is what I was talking about.
Aurora.
Bottom teams are fighting for eliminations. They will go for the top 4 teams are already getting their best.
EGL
Right now, off this lobby.
DP
Desperation
Eagle
sword.
Yep.
And he has been empowering
वो
someone
ट्राई
so far.
इसके बाद गुंज क्यों नहीं? कोई तो स्नाइपर है. नॉस. टीएजी क्या कर रही है? टीएजी को दिखाओ. कोई टीएजी को दिखा दो.
Two teams are gonna have their
टीएजी दिखा दो.
into the crusher.
Yeah.
Always a sad side, cause man, such great accessories. But that's the nature, the brutality of a competition. Let's see what this circle brings us, because game 1 was brutal. In game 2, a little bit more tame, but plenty of open areas.
open right now is going to be a fight between Buriram and Evos, who just got revived. However, it's only one of the players getting stuck between the lot of Buriram at Eco Drain. And I think he'll be found very soon, but team finding players are tagged. That's Team Apex Gaming. More eliminations coming their way. They're climbing up the ranks, making sure if they have an opportunity, but they need a lot more. They need points closer to 30 in total. Maybe a Booyah also needed if they want a run going towards the top 4.
And the bailout earlier on, the unintentional one, gave Aurora time to bring the whole squad back, right? We look at the separation between Falcons and Aurora. It is 49 points. Made worse by the fact that Aurora didn't really get to play the first game, so it is a tall task to expect Aurora to catch up and find a tie.
2 minutes of एक issue हो गया.
And make it to survival stage tomorrow. As DRS looking for a rotation, Loud doing the exact same thing, but they might be beelining straight into Demon's Pride.
Demon's Pride, they just got eliminations from Evos. They have a compound that they're holding. Looks to be a better game. Loud have just found their one here. AGL, in the meantime, they're finding the players of Evos, and Evos seem troubled after they were about to convert on Demon's Pride. Wherever they try to head out, they've been spotted, taken down, and eliminated. Mavxx being chased by AGL, and he will be put to rest as well. And that is Evos losing their players. One last survivor is Aim God. Only gets coins now, but where is the vending machine? On one end, there's Buriram. On the other end, AGL. And right in front now, Demon's Pride as well as Loud going in for a fight. And it's going to be Loud putting Azwap down. And the entire squad within a whiff gets eliminated.
A full blitz from Loud again. Their execution and these quick hits are so efficient. They make sure that the fight ends within 15 to 20 seconds so that there's time for them to recuperate if a second team doesn't arrive. It's something that has defined Loud's playstyle in competitive Free Fire. The Wonder Key gets brought back, but that's the most that Aim God could do for the team. And right after that, Axel finds a pickoff. And it's the same situation that Evos frequently find themselves in, playing the survival game.
As of now, I think that's the mantra for them. They're unable to find a footing to just go for fights, and they've been just chased by teams. Put them down one after another, and DRS wanted to start out strong. The real soldiers using UAV to just get a grasp of information around. They spot another and they do destroy. Strox, he is the sniper. He's the one who finds a lot of value, but so far for DRS, at least today's start in game number 1 is decent, and out of that, Solara
brutal versus Heckle. Sorry guys, थोड़ा out of topic हो गया, तो अब हो गया. एगल के ऊपर नेट्स डाल रहे हैं.
The same face-off as round 1, but we might find an early ending as Jonah with a good hit on the deal. Saifa still pushing forward with support from his teammate Wasana though will win that fight, and this time BRU, they will show AGL that once is enough. Barros is poking it out of there, but has to go into the blue with no coins at all.
You could see how clever that fight was. They used the Steffi, no throwables that could have been dropped by the side of AGAL, went in for a 4-forward fight, guns all out, and Buriram had the better of it, and AGAL could do nothing of it. It's just very strategic play coming through, and this is what champions. And you mentioned Buriram, they want their cabinet with an EWC trophy, and this could be one of their opportunities.
Yep, it's the final piece of the puzzle, and how poetic it is that the final piece of the puzzle is fitting the key into the plaque.
रन का वीडियो को लगा मुझे पता भी नहीं चला.
A lot of stories being completed. I think again for BRU.
Update हो रहा है WhatsApp.
The whole world is waiting to be for that to happen. Alu ends up stepping on a landmine. That should be the end.
DRS
as Guasha.
How did trap
point number 7, number 8 for the Brazilians. DRS. They were just trying to put up a fight, but unfortunately, not enough firepower in this case.
सही है. Really 5 finishes लेके भाई 5 elimination points.
He is doing it for the team. Playing together, the last man makes a run, but how far can he run?
चाय पी ली मैं, मजा आ गया. चाय है मस्त. बहुत अच्छी.
The compound was cleared by Loud. They took Demon's Pride out. DRS came for a challenge. They were pushed out, and now Aurora. Is the story going to be any different? Loud are going to just get elimination.
Loud के सामने TG bro. TG के एगल की पोजीशन नहीं पता bro. एगल सब्सक्राइब पे आए. एगल सरप्राइज दे सकता था. ओ भाई. तब एगल को मार दिया भाई. एलिमिनेशन हो गया TG के. WWE इंडियन फ्लैग कर दो. इंडियन फ्लैग स्पैम करता हूँ TAGW कर दो TAGW Loud versus Aurora.
This real estate, as you already mentioned, it is just Louds. They've written it down, they've cemented it, and it's going to go down ages, at least
Voice
till
perfect,
Solana.
voice
And they're
perfect.
at the dead center of the
Feedback
circle, so nobody's going to push them out. Maybe the circle itself decides to make a very hard shift, and then Loud would have to change the position.
सही बात है लाउड हमेशा सेंटर मिल जाएगा अब कहीं भी जाओ लाउड सेंटर मिल जाएगी वो तो मैंने देखा है
Give Lau a bit of a compound, but most of the safe zone is out in the open. Dinoc is scanned now, so someone knows that Loud is in that compound with 12 eliminations to boot. BRU should show up on the radar any time now. I believe the Dinoculus, it's a good chance it came from Evos or even TAG, who are now making their appearance. Can Loud hold back the third wave of challenges?
Team Apex Gaming, they need these points more than...
You are on live stream.
The challenge has to be very critical on the hit. DRS were in the same compound, but Loud were able to turn it around, and yes, a little active in terms of their approach, going a little ham against Loud while there were landmines all across. And right now, getting being placed, the Minter could be on the other end, coming in from Falcons to break the defenses of Buriram. Spotted out it was Jonah. He
ऑफिस काम करवाना है तो क्या लाइव स्ट्रीम करवाना है जहाँ સુધી મને પરમિશન મળી છે ત્યાં સુધી લાઈવ સ્ટ્રીમ કરી લેશે આપણે બરાબર છે ભાઈ સ્ટોપ થઈ ગઈ
I mean, Team Apex, that's the 13th point for Loud Snickers. But the rest of Evos, even if they get through Loud, they still have
TAG ने 7 एलिमिनेशन निकाल दिए इंडिया वाले
India was a big surprise. Nobody expected him to be behind enemy lines. And Russia being the distraction.
Like karo.
Mavxx gets another player from DRS, but they instantly put glue walls and stall that at least for the time being. Mavxx can find more. Russia on the other end. These two players on two different directions trying to corner a team, and Russia spots Falcons. Damage being done. Finds the knock. Can he find a confirmation? No, again, glue walls being blocked on any approach coming in from Evos.
Evos भी वेट कर रही है TAG भी वेट कर रही है W पर तो TAG के लिए भाई टॉप 8 आ गए टॉप 7 आ गए 3-6 टॉप 6 आ गए टॉप 6 आ गए और TAG के पास कंपाउंड है TAG के पास कंपाउंड है
and they have such a good spot
TAG के पास कंपाउंड है भाई अच्छी बात
Looked like it was going to be loud earlier, but right as now, as you mentioned, yes, it is Falcons. They're best position to hold every team off. The circle's about to close in the next 10 seconds, and also it's shifting. Teams better be ready for this. Wolverine gets taken down by Moshi. A very small, slight angle where he found Wolverine down, but I think it should be an instant recovery. Not much to be worried about.
ब्रूस ने वालों को मार रहे थे पर TAG वाले एंकल टूट के
Put them down right here at the
ओ भाई ब्रूस ने चंचम
challenge and get closer. Falcons trying to hit shots, but none of them connect, and Buriram make it safely.
ये देखो
and the result between BRU and TAG comes down to how
TAG
much
के ऊपर रस करे
will
ब्रूस ने
change the course of this battle. The glue wall
फिर से काम करवाना
give them
जरूरी
some space to work with. Wasana being given one more glue wall as he did ran out of resources.
Be creative,
BRU
guys.
decides that they can't
Falcon वाले नो
in fact,
Falcon
it's
वाले नो
TAG that responds onto Falcons. Russia gets freed up and now he pokes
Sorry,
into the
sorry.
building where Loud and DRS are perched at. Launchpad being used as well. BRU now arrives on top of the roof. The reposition.
भाई रूफ पे चढ़ गए वो वाले रूफ पे चढ़ गए वो वाले नहीं मान रहे
However, Loud are taking away those
भाई
eliminations, stealing it away.
चौथा बुया ले जाएगा आज जीता तो
They are getting it all.
पूरा राम पूरे राम चौथा बुया ले जाएगा देखना स्मिथ देखना तू भाई वहां से नेट डाला कैसा ओ भाई भाई TAG का बुया है TAG का बुया है क्या ओ स्टफ
and Team Apex Gaming now move to that prime position.
TAG का बुया है भाई
Okay, because the circle decides that that will be the case. Evos eliminated down the top 4.
TAG का बुया है
And TAG ever so close. And so far they will be unbothered just for an instant. As DRS is going to be the one that faces resistance. Lau, attention put onto Captain Jonah. BRU under pressure. Wasana responds from long range. They need to keep Jonah alive. from long range. They need to keep Jonah alive, and Jonah is the anchor.
Oh,
It cannot break. But
Jonah.
Lau is putting on immense pressure
Jonah
by just
वाले
rushing in.
कहाँ
Alu
से
gets
निकले
taken
थे,
out
कहाँ
off screen
पहुंच
by
गए वो
Trap,
देखा
and BRU able
वहाँ
to
बैठे थे
retreat to a safe space. TAG
क्या
needs to
रोटेशन
catch
मार
up.
रहे तो
Just like
TAG
how
टॉप
out in
4
the
आ
open,
गए
Burila made their rotation. Even Loud managed to,
TAG टॉप
with a
4 आ
plethora
गए
of
TAG
blue
टॉप
walls,
4 आ
move
गए
down the land and they walk across. They're closer than ever. Team Apex Gaming in the meantime, just because Loud decided to rotate out earlier, now they have an opportunity. Jonah finds Takuri, the last one from DRS, and now Team Apex Gaming have an
TAG
opportunity
भाई
because Loud and Burila
TAG
are
के
close
पास
together.
हायर ग्राउंड है
He is
TAG
shooting
के
the
पास
players
हायर
of
ग्राउंड
Team
है
Apex Gaming and not letting them slide down the hill.
This is the final
TAG
lap
के
for
पास
Apex
ऊपर
Gaming, and hold my hand, Lucifer, because we might be
भाई
witnessing history here.
टॉप 3 आ गए
Top 3 teams.
अगर
Two
सोन
of
ऊपर
the
आया
front
तो
runners
खत्म
still with the full
सोन
squad
ऊपर
left
आया तो
alive.
खत्म है
But Team Apex Gaming have the high ground. They have couple of moments, couple of instances where the blue zone will make the difference, and TAG, they are in such a prime position to get this pick off.
मस्त पोजीशन है
Loud. They decided to make a rotation.
कितने एलिमिनेशन का बुया आने वाला है सच सोचो आप बुया के 12 पॉइंट आ रहे हैं TAG डब्ल्यू भाई भाई क्या मार रहा है भाई
Faster they get rid of Lau, the better they ask for him, and Lau,
लाउड वाले नीचे आ गए ब्रो
they don't back down, and
इनको
they are
पता ही
ready
नहीं
to
है
take that fight. The cluster would have been nice if it connected.
लाउड
But
वाले
now Loud
पास
are
में
out
आ
of
गए
vision,
बाजू
and
में
BRU into
BRU
the
वाले
frame.
रोटेट मार गए
Team Apex Gaming, they have an advantage. Loud have a safe spot. BRU are out in the open.
Riptide Rhythm.
BRU वाले ओपन में है भाई TAG वाले पास चांस है TAG
Great start in this game. 5 eliminations already, and
TAG
Sana is down. Make it get higher. Fulman finds one
Let's
more.
go.
Team Apex
Let's go, bro. Let's go.
taking away the eliminations.
Loud.
And Team Apex Gaming will not be happy about this.
This is looking good. TAG have a chance. Jonah being pressured by Lau. A distraction there.
लाउड
Eliminated.
ऊपर पे चले गए लाउड वाले
TAG in a spot to make
TAG
history here against Lau.
TAG स्पैम करता हूँ
BC in the front,
TAG का
shot
बुया
the
है
first
यो
one. Can they find the
भाई
finish?
यो
Lau down low in the
लाउड
air.
डाउन
Side down. BC beats the
it's
follow.
it's 1v1
Apex Gaming.
Gaming, bro.
History and gets their first ever booyah on the world stage.
yes
Is a very big booyah
let's go man
for Team Apex Gaming. We
स्पैम करता इंडियन फ्लैग स्पैम करता
it happen, and especially
इट्स लाउड वर्सेस TAG और TAG ने निकाल दिया ब्रू वाले को भी निकाल दिया सोचो ब्रू वाले ने 3 बुया निकाले थे आज मस्त आज ग्रैंड फाइनल्स की तैयारी करके आया है जोनी भाई ने मस्त खिलाया इनको टोचन दिया टोचन ऐसे नहीं है
For this moment. What an
क्या
achievement
मस्त
it is for the region.
ब्रो
They needed some time to warm up, but once those seats are warm, TAG entered the flow state.
ब्रो
And with
TAG है
impeccable execution in the final circle, they took advantage of all
खुशी
the
देखो
openings
बे।
given to them. Openings that are very minor, that cannot
खुशी
be
देखो
missed. But
उनके
they were on
चेहरे
the
पर खुशी
ball,
देखो
Lucifer.
we spoke about this, right? Prime position, real estate, all of it. One after another, every team wanted it. Loud started it off. Buriram went for it, and then finally,
खुशी
Team
तो है।
Apex Gaming found the very best spot. Falcons, this is why we were talking about it. They were the ones who should have been a booyah here, but they messed up.
Loud
in
के
their
सामने
moment.
निकाल
And it was
दिया।
Team Apex Gaming took that same
पूरे राम के
position away
सामने
from
निकाल
Falcons,
दिया
took the last
लाइक
player
करो
down,
लाइक करो
and they get
इसी
this
बात पे
booyah,
लाइक हो
and
जाए
thankfully,
इसी
they
बात
managed to do it in
इसी
such a
बात पे
manner
लाइक हो
where they
जाए
were ahead of the zone, up the hill, and this time they get it.
Incredible
भाई
stuff here.
मजा
You can really hear the passion radiate. The crowd, they
What
were
a
feeling
man.
it. They knew that once we got into the
That
top
crowd,
6,
that crowd.
TAG is a prime candidate for that booyah. And this
Ah.
is what the Esports World Cup is all about, man.
ये देखो
Unpredictability.
पर यहाँ
The
ये गलत
volatility,
किया
but
लाउड
this
वालों
is
ने
what
हमारे
we see
फिनिश
with
ले गए
TAG. I could
हमारे
rewatch
एलिमिनेटेड
this
ले
all
गए
day.
All day, all
भाई
along.
सोटो क्या मार रहा है
Brilliantly played out. Yes, they tried to pick an opening, but it did not work out as brilliant as they wanted. Holding it off, KD got
सोटो ने मस्त
sides
मारा
up. Shoto, the big man.
तो है MVP प्लेयर है
What a
MVP
play
सोटो
coming from
MVP
their
है
end. And yes, as I said, this is a
Shota
very
है
big
MVP.
thing for them and the whole of India to look at.
They are
Shota
going to be
है
incredibly
MVP.
proud, but we're going to let these teams again prep for the upcoming games. And for now, we're going to hand it over to Carol on the stage as she has something for us.
Hello
So to him,
everyone, I'm Carol Bombshell and we are back on stage and I'm happy to have this company here by my side, Nameless from AGL team. Thanks so much for your time.
AGL be
And
most team
yesterday
bro.
we noticed that you
But
guys
TAG
got
come
so
here,
close so many times to get a Booyah, but unfortunately you didn't. But today, happily you guys managed. How did it feel to get your first Booyah in the competition?
ก็เมื่อวานนะครับแต่ว่าหลายครั้งเหลือเกินที่เราเกือบจะได้บูย่าเนี่ยแต่ว่าไม่ได้สักทีนะฮะแต่ว่าวันนี้เนี่ยเราได้ปลดล็อกที่ได้บูย่าแรกแล้วเนี่ยฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ครับก็รู้สึกปลดล็อกครับแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าทีมพวกผมพร้อมแล้วครับที่จะเป็นแชมป์
Yeah, I feel like we have already unlocked something and I think we are ready to become the champion of this tournament.
I like your confidence. That's definitely
Yeah,
the way
bro.
to talk. Okay, so after finishing last year in the 5th place and in the 30 in the global finals, you are getting closer to win an international tournament. And to, of course,
Viewers
together
get
with
better
Wuchi, does
viewers.
it feel like this is the moment to get over the line?
ก็ในปีที่แล้วนะฮะเราได้จบไปทั้งที่อันดับที่5นะฮะแล้วก็อันดับที่3นะครับใน global tournament นะฮะ
ที่ได้ใช่ไหม
เราขยับเข้ามาอีกขั้นหนึ่งแล้วที่จะได้เป็นแชมเปี้ยนนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกว่าปีที่แล้วทีมนี้ไม่มีผมครับปีนี้มีแล้วน่าจะเป็นแชมป์ได้ครับ
Yeah, I think like because last year he not in the team yet, but this year he's here already, so everything should be fine now.
Okay. Are you sure? All right, I trust you. Okay, so there is really some tough teams in the way, of course. Burn, Fluxo, maybe Arlos, all look very strong. Who do you think is the biggest competitor right now?
ก็ตอนนี้นะครับมีหลายทีมเลยที่บอกว่าเป็นตัวเต็งนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น MIBR
TAG अभी TAG biggest competitor
ตัวที่เป็น
सबके competitor है अभी TAG बोलते
น่า
हैं
จะเป็นฟุกโซแล้วก็เรา
ट्रांसलेटर लेते आते हैं भाई
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
हमारे वालों को भी हिंदी में ट्रांसलेटर लेके जाना चाहिए
Only Brazilian
क्यों हम
teams?
इंग्लिश सीखे भाई
Okay, I like
क्यों
your
सीखे
answer.
इंग्लिश
Thanks so much for the
सही बात है कि
interview.
नहीं
Good luck in the next matches.
सीखनी चाहिए
the rest
अच्छी
of
बात
the
है
day.
जरूरी है
And
पर ये
that's
लोग
it.
देखो ना
You
इनके
heard
लिए
from Nameless from AGL
ट्रांसलेटर
team.
आता है तो
And
हमारे लिए भी
I'm
आना
back
चाहिए
with
कि
you
नहीं
guys at the studio.
आना चाहिए कि नहीं आना चाहिए कि नहीं बताओ हमारे लिए भी ट्रांसलेटर आना चाहिए हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करके बताए हम क्यों काम का
At this year's Esports World Cup, we're
इंग्लिश
bringing
सीखे
you all
टाइम
the
बिगाड़े
games you
हमारा
love, all the coverage you
नहीं सीखनी
crave.
चाहिए मुझे पता इंग्लिश जरूरी है
And for the first time ever, a completely unfiltered behind-the-scenes broadcast.
And he absolutely destroys him.
I don't think he ever saw that coming. That was incredible.
This means you're getting the real coverage.
I think that was
with raw opinions.
I'm just gonna have to say it. I think they have their heads.
ब्रेक पड़ा है सेकंड एक मैच खत्म हो गया भाई
Yes, for
TAG ने मस्त
broadcasters
खेला
who don't even know they're being recorded. They don't know they're being recorded?
Oh, what do you mean? That is insane. Ooh.
This Nicole, I said, please, lactose free. I can't deal with this.
All right,
Not
Nico,
here,
we
not
gotta,
now.
We gotta look at his game.
I'm sorry, is this a good idea?
This is what we have. All you have to do is read the lines.
They,
All right.
the bed.
They're absolutely the bed. I don't understand how this keeps getting allowed to take control of the space and nothing is done about it.
We're gonna get fined. There's no way that this is gonna work.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We do the thinking, okay?
I cannot believe this job on this team. Every time you thinking, oh my, they got the game.
हेलो
You know what? We're actually just gonna be bringing you the same great coverage once again this year. Nothing else.
Very good.
First KC fans try to sabotage me, now my own agent.
I am working on something. Wait.
I hope our reactions for that game were not recorded because there's a lot of stuff that we were saying that's not going to be able to be broadcasted. But India finally shows up here with the
India.
Neptune.
Yeah, I'm really
India
excited to see them
here.
play because even to set the expectation from yesterday. Lucifer did
India.
mention that they have a slow start and
मैंने
then they
subscribe
move
नहीं किया.
up, but also in the last two games they plummeted.
Guys,
So
मैं
hopefully
ये
they
subscribe
have
है
a
भाई.
start right now, starting it off
Subscribe
in
है
game
फिर
number
क्यों
2
नहीं करने
with
दे
that
रहे?
booyah. And it's good elimination as well coming from them.
भाई
It
subscribe
was
है.
almost the same story earlier wherein they could have taken a higher spot, especially in game 1, but it's just unfortunate that
ये क्या
so
बात
the
हुई?
story is AGAL
पक्का
as well
subscribe कर
as
दिया.
Team Apex Gaming, they
Check
scan
नहीं
each
करने
other
दे
with the binoculars. So AGAL was just waiting for them to rush in, and the moment they did, they got annihilated. Brimred almost got them as well, but it's a good thing that on game number 2, Team Apex Gaming managed to recover.
Yeah, but always, I have to appreciate how Loud is also doing so well in the first and second game. I mean, that last circle was amazing. Yes, they were in a bit of a compromising situation. They got lower ground,
ये जिन्हें
but
क्या
they
मस्त
managed to
निकाला
make
है
it
तो.
work. And I mean, getting that points, I mean, 19 elimination points, and then previously
ठीक
14
ही है
elimination
बे.
points. This is the consistency that we need, and of course, we expected from a Brazilian team.
And while we were talking about Loud, one of the things that we were mentioning too, that we especially were talking about Neptune, is their positioning, right? Yesterday, at one point, it looked like they were just getting gifted, but you can't say gifted when this squad is continuing to just be consistent in their location and their placement during those circles.
Yeah, most of the time they go and choose the middle of the map. That's where they get information, and not everyone is following that path. So pretty much they are in a safe spot already once everyone is in position, or as soon as the next phase covers the following one. That's where they will
elimination. सोचो 16.
that is a circle. So it's a good strategy for Loud Stickers
Loud
right
ने
now.
भी
When they
19
beat Brim
elimination
United in
निकाल
game
पाए.
number 2
19.
to do the same thing. They went in the south, and that's when they met AJAL and take them down.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, and what's interesting for me was that battle between was it Tag against Buriram. Buriram was trying to do something at the very last minute, but unfortunately they were the one who
Subscribe
got
करे
the
जो
one
भी
time
नए आए हैं,
instead. And that
subscribe
was
करे.
actually kind of shocking to me because Buriram United Esports, we all knew day one they were amazing. They were super aggressive. They set the tone, but something went wrong today. I haven't seen the same Buriram that I saw the other day.
I mean, I was expecting this. Most of the time, like, we have a three-way battle, especially with this. We're expecting a ring around the Rosie, but I guess they didn't find Rosie at that point, and they met against each other, and Tag was just on that high ground, took down Brim United together with Loud, and great elevation though has been done. Though it is Tag who initiated it, we were expecting that Loud might be able to go in quick, but Team Apex Gaming was just Apex Predator on that final 4v4.
They were literally all over the place, up and down. The movement was very dynamic, very amazing, very
ये fan हो गई है
For
इसकी,
Buriram,
समझ
I
रहे हो?
want to go back to that one because this squad, maybe they set too much of an expectation yesterday, would you say, Conchita? Because they did end up getting 3 booyahs yesterday. I don't think any of us expects them to do that again today.
Yeah, well, again, it's not just yesterday, but it's Buriram United Esports because we all know that they are capable of doing so, and they do come here with a lot of preparation and vengeance and redemption. So it's not just that we set up a high expectation. We know they can exceed even the expectation that we give them. That is why today I'm actually not feeling it yet for Buriram United Esports. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think they could do so much better.
Because so far the signature is to show them what have be a threat on the board. And Buriram United, like yesterday was just a booyah. Now it's just the numbers, elimination. So 17 elimination in the first game, 18 elimination in the second game, despite of not getting that booyah, total points rather. 10 elimination at second game. Despite of not getting booyah, they're still in the number 1. But again, some teams are creeping in slowly, and they're making way on what they manage to pull off, studying their opponents, and then bringing them down.
Especially with what we've been talking in regards to the gaps. If you're just tuning in, if this is for some reason the first time you're watching Free Fire at EWC 26, let me just remind you what's going to happen after these matches are done for Group A. The top 4 will be moving on to the grand finals. And let's take a look at those top 4 because right now Evos is that top point. You can see 139 points. They do have a healthy gap there to Grand Dynasty. Team Falcons as well. This is one team that I think we were expecting to step it up in the second half. Actually coming up soon. maybe that will be a turnaround for that squad because they do need to make up points.
Yes, but I don't think 4 points is that healthy actually, especially with the rest of the game that we have. I'm just not sure that this is quite safe yet for EFOS, so they still have to try somehow to be more consistent, at least in getting those points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, look at that century mark in terms of elimination for Buram United as well. And a lot of teams trying to do the same thing. They're trying to follow the path that BRU has been playing, but it is difficult right now. Most of them are just playing it with placement point, positioning wise, but BRU just understand what they need to do right now. They are countering, they're going against the flow.
Yeah, but it's also getting ridiculously dangerous for Paradox Gaming. I mean, let's take a look at that.
20 points
They fell behind Thailand Esports Club in just 2 games today.
I mean, there's one thing about Paradox Gaming, hopefully they let go of the aggressive reign, because I think that's where they're failing.
Placements नहीं आ रहे थे ना 61 elimination से 61 this is not a bad
like your aggression, especially with teams who have all
this
eyes
is not
on you,
bad at all.
you will be the target in most instances. So they just tone it down a little bit, play with placement, and then towards the end, if you get that booyah or close it, then that's where you'll have that confidence to get all those eliminations.
कोच है पैराडॉक्स गेमिंग वो बता रहे हैं कि एपीजी को जाने दो बाकी सबको मार दो एपीजी को नहीं मारने का एपीजी हमें मार देगी सबके कोच वही सिखा रहे हैं एपीजी से दूर रहो एपीजी नहीं टीएजी सॉरी माफ करो टीएजी से फाइट करो टीएजी से दूर रहो टीएजी से दूर रहो टीएजी बहुत अच्छी टीम है स्ट्रेटेजी है उन सबकी मुझे पता है वो एपीजी से दूर रहेंगे एपीजी बोल रहा हूँ यार सॉरी टीएजी से वो दूर रहेंगे टीएजी को मत मारो
Yesterday, it was all about aggressiveness. It was all about showing up, showing strength. But today, they are playing it a little bit more strategically. They are trying to be more consistent in terms of elimination points instead of just showing up.
You gotta get those elimination points.
Yeah.
You wanna get that booyah. That's just what we're after. I mean, yesterday we even had a competition in regards to those booyahs, and we've been seeing the comments that you guys have been posting on social media. You guys actually heard us use that hashtag EWC, and if I'm not mistaken, we might be featuring some of your guys' stuff right now. To see what which teams are going to be biased.
Will you feature me?
We're totally not biased whatsoever here on the desk.
So not. We're supporting
everyone. It's not like we want all the top teams to continue to do great and take that performance. But you can see it right there towards the bottom. X-Tunis says Trap is the best bomber in the world.
Watchparty. Let's see though, because there's a lot of bombers being in here, and
whether TAT will qualify.
There are a lot of chances the M79 grenade launcher not a lot of them are pulling
TAT यहाँ से सीधा ग्रैंड फाइनल्स जा रही है देख लो TAT यहाँ से सीधा ग्रैंड फाइनल्स जा रही है क्योंकि उन्होंने लॉबी रेड कलर लिया लॉबी रेड कलर
wasn't just Lucifer having the confidence in tag. The fans are out there with the confidence as well. Their tag will qualify, which by the way right now they're looking like they're really qualifying to survival unless they continue to have some more booyahs. Then maybe we have a different narrative here. They will play like beasts today.
But I so agree, because then again, this is the Esports World Cup. Of course, we have to play our best. We have to give the best mentality, the best performance. That is what we expect and nothing less. So yeah, that's exactly what we want from each and every single one of the team that is competing today.
I love this prediction there towards the bottom. AGAL, Loud, or Evos. They didn't want to pick one. They're like, you know what? Let's
the
best teams out there from Group
माफ करना कोच बोल रहा था IGL पूछ रहा सबको बता रहा है TAG से दूर रहना कंकरीटर TAG है ये प्लेग्राउंड है ये स्क्रीन पूरा प्लेग्राउंड है अगर इधर TAG है तो यहाँ दूर दूर से निकल जाओ दूर दूर अगर आप इधर हो ये इधर यहाँ दूर से निकल जाओ दूर से वो समझाता है कि TAG अब फॉर्म में आ गई है तो अब दूर से निकलो TAG के दूर से पास में नहीं TAG से पंगा नहीं लेने का ऐसा बोला मैंने
abilities that they have, especially those inocular skills. If they want to get a safe spot into the next phase or each phase of the circle, use those R-funds, use those vernacular scans, so that at least you'll have a clear view of whether you're heading into danger or just in a safe spot. But that's only that. Not only that, there's also those launch pad that is available depending on the map or which map. The next map would be in Kalahari. So this is where those hook guns will be important. Their entry and exit would be much quicker compared to just walking around or running around.
One of the teams that Demon Sprite is currently hunting down is none other than Titan Esports Club.
Yep.
Conchita, what do they need to do to make sure they don't get hunted down and end up on those bottom two?
Of course. I mean, the trend that we've been seeing, not just from today, but the match day yesterday, is that you don't actually have to secure a booyah. You can just consistently earn placement points, that elimination points. So I think that should be the objective that Titan Esports Club is focusing right now, instead of trying to, get into a fight, a huge fight with any other team. Just try to make it more safe, more strategic, because I think if we're comparing skills and individuals, they do have what it takes to endure the game, Neptune.
Titan Esports Club, I think they need to be as sharp as ever. It needs to be...
Wait, just gonna take a second. Can we please go back to that player? Because he was just relaxing, he was in the boot. If I'm not mistaken,
he was injured, bro.
And they were saying that now, after the performances that they saw, they're looking to be the champions. They're feeling that confidence, and boy, are they. Sorry, Neptune, we had to play that out. Now you can go back to it.
It's just chilling like a villain right there. But anyways, going back to the point, I mean, Blade needs to be a sharp. Get all those eliminations in, get that information on those rush. But again, it's not those careless rush. They need to be strategic. Kalahari is one of those wherein they can capitalize on their snipers to find their position first. But again, it's one thing that we are. It's a good thing that we are now on day 2, because they can review what happened in day 1, especially in this map of Kalahari. Despite of not having that much of a gameplay in specific maps.
ये देखो ये
Titan Esports Club, I think they need Blade to be a sharp.
भाई मजा कर रहा है.
It needs to be.
Big fan will.
Wait, just gonna take a second. Can we please go back to that player, because he was just relaxing, he was in the boot. If I'm not mistaken, that was AJAL, and they were saying
that the way that the other teams are playing, they're no more showing aggressiveness. They are playing it more smartly, and I think that kind of messed with Gun Dynasty's plan and strategy. So it's time for them to adapt now, because actually they were one of the team that were very disruptive the other day. Now they are the ones who have to follow the rules.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that they just brought in the big gun.
नहीं second match बुया निकाला अभी उनके 4 मैचेस से मजे.
Well, it's his uncle in me. But anyways, going back. So they have that element of surprise. They were not caught off guard from yesterday. They have a lot of potential of elimination. But now, give these teams a day's rest. A day's chance of studying your opponent. And this is what you happen. Like, look at Gun Dynasty. They only got 4 or 2 points out of game number 1, and then only 6 points on game number 2. It's not looking good for them, but it's a good thing that they managed to stack it up from yesterday.
And right now, with the team being in 5th place, there are about 15 points away from Evos. Evos did start off in regards to the placements, but we haven't really seen the booyah out of Evos at any point. Remember, these are the defending
87 points. उसके elimination point is 8.
Free Fire.
उसके elimination point.
Can the pressure end up getting to Evos?
I think there's a possibility that yes, the pressure is on. They are feeling it right now. Because just the other day, I had a conversation with some of the casters, and they did tell me that I think it's going to be very difficult for EFOS this time. Just looking at how they're doing at the regional, how this year has been for them. But deep inside, I do believe that they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. I mean, we can actually see the maturity coming from some of the players, especially Russia. We saw how he did that one-man show thing, right? At the previous game, he handled that really well. We didn't see him as a teenager. We saw him as this veteran that is just know exactly what to do and can handle any situation. So hopefully, if we're talking about pressure as the reigning champion, they should have had that nailed down.
But then again, I mean, if they're just reliant on Russia just ending it, that will be the situation over
He
and
was
over again. He's
mushed
the
in
last
a way.
man standing. The rest of the squad will just be waiting to be
mushed
revived
in.
if they can be revived. And that is getting tougher and tougher. One good story
He
though
was
for
mushed
Esports
in.
is after that game number 2 from yesterday, they get
Driver,
they
he
are
was
getting
mushed in.
double-digit points rather all throughout up until today. So that's the trajectory as well as the consistency that we're looking for.
Marketing and business consultancy. समझा नहीं bro. तू जॉब कर रहा है या उधर खुद की खोल कंसल्टेंसी
Free Fire at the EWC
Guru,
26. They're also in
game
contention
चल
for
रहा
the
है.
club championship, so they want to be able to get those points. They have won in the past year for Free
पेरिस
Fire.
आना पड़ेगा
Which
चीज
team,
अपने को.
which
समझ
player
रहा है.
from Falcons would you like to see step up in this last matches for Group A?
Well, Mavxx 7. Mavxx 7 is one of the best snipers that we have.
Last match
Southeast
of Group
Asia.
A?
Team Falcons has been using him as a treasure.
क्या मैंने सही
when it
सुना
comes to
guys?
snipers.
Last
It
match
seems
of
like
group
he
में बोला
is being
उसने.
hampered right now. Again, this current meta is a meta of the snipers. The current update is the update for the
Last match
snipers.
of
And
Oh,
even
पूरी
Mavxx
का
7 is not
सही है
stepping
bro.
up. Only the other
That's
teams are the ones who's stepping up. So I don't know what strategy is in there, and we're not even seeing him in those close quarter combat.
इसकी
So
personality
hopefully
मस्त
he'll
है.
be able to step up, lead the squad.
Hairstyle
because
अच्छी
we
है.
know the front line
जो
is
ये
able to cover him.
earrings
For
पहनता है.
Falcons, I mean, we saw players yesterday being able to
लगता है
step
ना.
up, and I'm hearing that we actually have an interview with the Falcons, so let's see what they had to say earlier in the day.
बहुत ब्रेक लिया भाई इन्होंने.
Hello everyone. Right next to me is On Fire from Team
ये
Falcons.
इसका एक फेस देखो बेचारे का.
Our Thai translator as
ना
well.
घबराया हुआ
Alright,
है.
hello On Fire. So this is our second day, and I think it's
ये
gonna be
translator
pressure for
लेके
Team
आते हैं.
Falcons because you guys must get into top 4. Have you guys prepared for anything?
ก็วันนี้นะถือว่าเป็นการแข่งวันที่2แล้วนะ
ये ट्रांसलेट करके इसको समझाता है फिर ये आंसर करेगा फिर ये इसका ट्रांसलेट इसको बोलेगा.
เนื่องจากว่า Falcon
अरे हम भी हिंदी वाले ले जाते हैं हम क्यों इंग्लिश सीखे भाई
มาบ้างครับ
सही बात है कि नहीं
เล่นไล่ยิงแบบวันแรกแล้วครับ
सही बात है कि नहीं.
ไม่ได้กดดันเท่าไหร่ครับ
Actually, there's not that much pressure for
देखो.
us. Like we're gonna play like the same as we played yesterday on the first day. So we're gonna go hunt everyone down one by one.
Okay, I understand his perspective, but overall, yesterday we can see a lot of changes in the roster. So what happened? Are you guys trying to test as much as you guys can during the tournament so you guys can do your best at the finals day?
ก็เข้าใจนะฮะว่าต้องการจะทำอะไรสักอย่างเมื่อวานนะแต่ว่าเห็นเนื่องจากว่าเมื่อวานเห็นมีการปรับแผนการเล่นค่อนข้างเยอะเลย อยากจะทราบว่าทีมฟอลคอนต้องการจะทดสอบอะไรบางอย่างหรือเปล่าฮะหรือว่ามีแผนอะไรอยู่ในใจไหม
ก็ไม่มีนะครับแค่
Guys देखो ना
บางคนยังน้องใน
ना
ทีม
बेचारा नर्वस हुआ है नर्वस है ये नर्वस है ये बंदा.
Actually, like it's just
बेचारा
like some of the players in our
किसी
team
को
like
किसी ने इसको कंपलसरी खड़ा कर दिया ना
it's a bit of
वो हम
pressure
स्कूल में नहीं हमें खड़ा करते थे तुम्हें प्रेयर बोलनी है
So one more
स्टेज
question
पे
for
जाके.
Fire. I heard this will be
वैसा
your
है
last season in AWC 26, but also in Free Fire. I'm not
और
sure.
हमें नहीं
So I'm
बोलनी
asking,
होती.
So do you feel any pressure,
वो
or do you feel how
और बचपन में हमें डांस करने के लिए खड़ा करते थे पता है
ปีนี้เนี่ยจะเป็นปีสุดท้าย
वैसे बेचारे को खड़ा कर
จะ
दिया
ห
है
รือเปล่าหรือก็ไม่มีใครทราบนะฮะแต่ว่าอยาก
Yes,
ทราบว่า
देखो
รู้
ना
สึกยังไงบ้างครับผม
ก็
देखो
ก็อย่างที่ทราบกันหลายคนทราบกันนะฮะว่าปีนี้เนี่ยจะเป็นปีสุดท้ายแล้วของฟรีไฟหรือเปล่าก็ไม่มีใครทราบได้นะฮะเราเลยอยาก
ये
ถาม
इतना बोलता है जितना ये नहीं
รู้สึกยังไง
बोलता
บ้างครับ
इसने बोला अगर गुड तो ये बेचारा ऐड कर देगा उसको समझ रहे हो
Well, as we have no idea, like no clue at all, what's gonna happen to the Free Fire, are we gonna be here
देख रहे
this
हो?
year or not in EWC? But we're gonna try our best.
All right, thank you so
इसने
much
3
On
शब्द
Fire.
बोले इसने 10 बोल
I'm
दिए
really hoping that you guys can rock
मेरी
back today
voice
because yesterday was not kind of smooth for us, but who
बढ़ाते
knows today they can
बढ़ाते
chill back really fast.
उससे
Thank you On
जाने
Fire
दो.
and sending a lot of lucks to Team Falcons today, and thank you to K as
सही है
well.
अब
Thank you for
सही है
listening, and now let's go around, shall we?
मेरी वॉइस बढ़ा रही अब सही है अब सही है
At all. We're just a little biased
See,
sometimes.
he's not the only one.
You're not the only
We're not the only one.
Yeah.
We are not terribly bad बेचारा डरा हुआ है उसको गोली कर
Maybe he's gonna end up getting a booyah. Let's send it over to Luke. Lucifer and Husky.
डरा हुआ है उसको
Apex Gaming, after getting their booyah back home, their fans feel like this
India.
team which was surreal is now coming to play,
Match
coming
number-
to action, and now that will rally everybody to look forward
Match
to
number
the
3
finals.
guys.
And with that, we start
Match
our
number
match 9
3.
here at Esports World Cup 2026 Paris, and it looks like Group A, which was supposed to be the group of death, is also becoming a little bit of a comeback for some of the teams to get out of the chopping block.
Match number 9 है.
We still some big separations between 6th and 7th spot. Falcon still being the gatekeeper there, but Team Apex Gaming has proven that those booyahs
Active phone
make a
कराओ.
lot of difference. They shoot up the
मैच
7th spot.
और अच्छा करते ट्राई करते हैं guys. अभी तो नए स्ट्रीमर है, सीख रहे हैं अपन, सीख रहे हैं थोड़ा. नेट्स बड़े हैं, नेट्स वाई है ब्रो. नेट्स वाई के पास क्या है कि वो ऑडियंस है, वो पूरा बोलती रहती है तो कन्वर्सेशन करते रहते हैं. चलो चलो लेट्स गो. नाउ विच पीडीएच वर्सेस डीपी ब्रो. ये देखा शील्ड डाल दिए उन्होंने, शील्ड डाल दिए. डीपी ने मारा वीडीएच के ऊपर. दो साइड से मार सकते हैं, ये साइड और पीछे भी है. इसके पास डबल वेक्टर है, इसमें डबल वेक्टर भी ले सकते हैं भाई. डबल वेक्टर मस्त चीज है. ओ भाई डबल वेक्टर से मार दिया मडारा ने, पीडीएच को मार दिया. ओ पीडीएच वालों विंडी गया. Swap and Windy.
It was just a knock, and therefore Demon's Pride will still
Bye.
be happy. They'll be getting 3 eliminations at the end of this fight at Foundation, but there's more that they have to pick up in case they don't want to be eliminated.
PDH.
These are dreams to a lot.
डीपी वालों ने 3 लोग मार दिए पीडीएच के. कमबैक करना पड़ेगा. लाउड आ गए देखो, लाउड वाले सीधा आ जाते हैं इंस्टेंट. आए जैसे ही पता चला फाइट खत्म है वापस चल जाएंगे. ये देखो डीपी वालों को खेल दिया वो. ओ भाई खत्म है. Evo's बहुत अच्छी. ये लाउड वर्सेस डीपी चल रहा है. एजीएल थर्ड पार्टी करेगी. ये नीड्स ट्रैप को कवर देगा. देखना डीएजी वर्सेस ऑरोरा हो गया. ओफ ये तो बहुत जल्दी फाइट हो गई यार. अभी तो मैं बुआ निकाला था ये लोगों ने. टीएजी स्पैम करता हूँ, टीएजी स्पैम करता हूँ. और
After getting a booyah, instant wipe out, but Aurora also
इतनी जल्दी वाइप आउट हो गए ब्रो.
out of Malaysia. It's not an easy run that they've had.
किसी एक को तो रिकॉल पे चला जाना रहा था. टीएजी वाला बहुत जल्दी है. कोई ना कोई ना. जेडी वर्सेस डीआरएस चल रहा है. जेडी वर्सेस डीआरएस. कौन निकालेगा इन दोनों में से? कमेंट करो इन दोनों में से कौन निकालेगा. अरोरा भी आ गई. बुरे राम सॉरी बुरे राम. जीडी बस वन शॉट मार दिया. वन शॉट मार दिया उसने. देखा आपने वो ओपन में घूम रहा था, वन शॉट दे दिया. स्नीकी ढूंढ रहा है वेंडिंग मशीन. अगर किसी ने मार दिया वन शॉट तो ये गया खत्म. इनको चेस कर रहे हैं देखो. एजीएल इनको चेस कर रही है. बट से वन शॉट दिया है ब्रो. डायनेमो भाई जैसा, डायनेमो भाई जैसा. भाई खत्म. बाय बाय हो गई. एजीएल है बे. ये वो टीएसएम वाली फीलिंग दे रही है. घुस के मारेगा, घुस के. हमारे में नहीं है टीएसएम एंटिटी थी ना वो. राहत तक जोनाथन नियो क्लच बोर्ड वो वाली सी बोर्ड. अरोरा का भी दिन अच्छा था पर भाई अभी तो स्टार्ट ही हुआ था. 5 मिनट में 3 लोग गए. 5 मिनट में 3 लोग चले गए.
And on fire called in as reinforcement with the
फाल्कन सीधा जंप करते आ गई फाल्कन सीधा जंप करते आ और आगे ऊपर आ गई ब्रो फाल्कन ने इसको घेर लिया है हील कर रहा है भाई वन शॉट मार दिया भाई केरोरो ने बचा लिया वरना तो मार दिया था he wasn't allowed to rush भाई इसमें अगर डायनामो भाई अच्छा खेल सकता है कि नहीं वन शॉट ही मारना है और डायनामो भाई का वन शॉट तो अच्छा है ये रही ने देखो रिकॉल कर दिया है BZP को लाउड वाला उधर अकेला चला गया 4 लोगों के सामने मारेंगे ही ना और उनको शायद आइडिया नहीं होगा 4 लोग के उधर गेम पॉज हो गए कुछ इश्यू होगा भाई अच्छा है टीएजी के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है डब्ल्यू कर दो टीएजी के लिए बहुत अच्छा है ये शायद गेम रीसेट हो जाए 5 मिनट हो गया है 5, 10, 50 तो शायद रीसेट हो जाए ये जी के लिए बहुत अच्छा है भाई 0 पॉइंटर निकला था ये भाई जोनाथन का कॉल चला गया था EWC वाले को कि अगर तुमने रीसेट नहीं किया तो खत्म है अब टेक्निकल इश्यू आ गया तो समझ रहे हो जोनाथन भाई ओपी वहाँ पे थकवा बैठा है थकवा कुछ ना कुछ तो करता रहता है आपको पता ही है थकवा है भगवान सीधा वहाँ EWC वाला को बोल दिया वायर खींच लिया वायर पीछे से 20 भाई है ना 20 भाई उसने पीछे से वायर खींच लिया
The same happened for the region of USA where Mia Corp not the favorite to win.
20 भाई ने पीछे से वायर निकाल दिया है.
And that's where consistency matters the most. It really hits home the cliche saying. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Exactly. You can have 200 points in the grand finals, but if a
हम 0 पे कैसे वो बोल रहे हैं हम 0 पे कैसे जा सकते हैं वायर निकाल दो.
Come in second for your efforts.
I'm pretty sure nobody would want to take #2 because we know how devastating it is, especially that the champion can walk away with 3 keys that they would want to add on to their trophy while being crushed. And that is something that esports brings the rawness out of every player, every team.
जोनी ने है ना थकवा को बोल दिया था कि 0 पॉइंटर आया है तो ये तो अच्छा मैच नहीं है तो कुछ करो तो थकवा ने 25 को भेजा वायर निकाल दो वायर क्योंकि मैच ये अच्छा नहीं गया हमारे लिए तो आके 25 ने वायर ही निकाल दिया पीछे से
because every other team they've been taking it away in the first 2 games that we witnessed and especially at today's halfway mark for Group A.
पीछे से जाके निकाल दिया.
Just 3 more games and if anybody wants to get back on the race, make sure they're safe and sound. They need to deny the points to the top 4 teams.
लाइक करो कौन है
कौन
सारे लोगों को लाइक करो.
And this is probably when we get into match 5 and 6 for day 2. You can play spoilers. You can ruin the chances. Kick someone.
जोनाथन ने बोल दिया था कि हम क्वालीफाई होने वाले हैं. ये गलत बात है. मजाक कर रहा हूँ ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता उधर. कुछ हुआ होगा नेटवर्क चला गया किसी की पिंग हाई हो गई. सोचो अगर ये मैच में अपेक्स गेमिंग ने वापस बुया निकाल दिया ये रिसेट हुआ है और अपेक्स गेमिंग ने बुया निकाल दिया तो खत्म हो जाएंगे ना खत्म हो जाएंगे लोग. सोचो उसको इतना बुरा लग रहा होगा हम क्यों सोचे ऐसा हमने तो टीएम के बारे में सोचना है हम खुश होंगे
as a responsibility but at the same time to see your chances just being crushed powdered down, and I don't think anybody would want it, but that's how Group A, that's how terrifying Group A has been since yesterday. And even Conchita mentioned this, right? Such a drastic change between Group A's performance on day 1 and day 2 of how teams have become tactical, strategic, thinking about their chances, thinking about the number of points they need, thinking about can they make it out and survive further.
And I do enjoy the effort of some of the teams, some of the unproven regions. We saw TAG, but we put Pakistan in the conversation, Demons Prior, Paradox from Africa, Titan Gaming as well, DRS, basically those at the bottom, even Aurora.
ये क्या कर रहा है 1 2 3 4 5 6 आजकल के बच्चे 6 7 6 7 करते रहते हैं
that I think took them some time to get used to, but now when the tension breaks,
1 2 3 4 5
a couple of eliminations and they need to patch that up with the placement points.
I like that there is a little bit of a tension break also in this pause happening on stage. We ended up seeing the 6-7 and DRS. They have a total of 67 points.
We were literally talking about this, right? Like, are we going to get an opportunity to be like, oh, this, BRU, they have 161.
टेक्निकल इश्यू आया शायद रीमैच होगा
Oh, DRS 6-7. Yeah, wish to come true on this stage.
Yeah, for us as well.
किसी को पता है सीट से का मीनिंग तो बताओ ये क्या कर रहा है कोई समझेगा change this and this and yes
Of course, we are going to have it sorted out, and it's good that it's still in the first phase, right? I say in the first phase, we lost 3 teams. It's
6-7
It's very brutal on Kalahari.
लाइक करो नए बंदे लाइक करो सब्सक्राइब कर दो
An open terrain, everybody just has an eye on you, even if you run away, because we could see, right, the run coming in from Paradox's Sneaky. He was trying to move away from AGL as much as possible. Unfortunate, no vending machine. He was trying to confuse them, and it still did not work out.
TAG का गंदा मैच था
Nothing that Sneaky could hide on.
पर 20 भाई ने बचा लिया किसने बताया 20 भाई ने
And whenever Sneaky jumped around, they could even spot him and
वो किसी ने नहीं बताया 20 भाई गए थे पीछे मुझे बात हुई मेरी 20 भाई से फोर्ट गए थे पीछे फिर उसने अटैक से बाहर निकल गया समझे हम किसी को बताना नहीं किसी को नहीं बताना है No, it's not a nap time.
I think the way is going to be the more nerve-wracking part for these teams, right? It's also a matter of like you get into the groove, things are going well, and then someone slams on the brake.
I really like how the storyline itself for Group A has kind
किसी को बताना नहीं है
we started, we were kind of talking. I think this
20 भाई का बोल आया था 20 भाई का मुझे सिर्फ मुझे बताया था उन्होंने मना किया था पर मैंने आपको बता दिया है आप किसी को मत बताना समझे
Yes, they're sitting at a total of 141, but that's not completely pretty. If Gun Dynasty end up finding a big game, EVOs don't. EVOs get put out after having only 1 booyah, and they still are not their defending champions, will be pushed to the survival stage. So much changing in Group A, completely unexpected.
I think it's a good time to also kind of expand on our earlier conversation about Gun Dynasty, right? Because
ये जी वाले जो खुश हुए होंगे अभी मैच प्लान नहीं कर सकता भाई वो फीलिंग अलग है अगर आप 0 पे गए और वो मैच सेट हो जाए अब उनको अच्छा करना पड़ेगा अगर वो अच्छा नहीं करेंगे तो मजा नहीं है सही बात है अगर वो लोगों ने अच्छा नहीं किया तो थोड़ा इश्यू होता है
teams get exhausted, their playbook falls short, and I think maybe a tad bit for Gun Dynasty. That's the main factor.
कौन सा डिवाइस दिया है
That's where I thought Ali, they should have a chance.
ये कौन सा डिवाइस है किसी को पता है
Just because they had aggression on the stage, yes, they were not happy with the result because they also almost had a booyah, but that also helps them refine those mistakes that they did yesterday, maybe to qualify today.
And again, the detail on the plaque. Nothing is given, everything is earned. Written in the native language of EVOS. In this case, it's Bahasa Indo. And it applies to across the entirety of EWC, across the game titles. And it's in the native language of the team that wins it. Great to see. Maybe in Portuguese, if a Brazilian team brings it back, there is a good chance that has been the story. And I think, the interesting part is always that we look at the Thailand as the best region.
Yeah.
And that's only because we see them more
गाइस
often, and we
दिक्कत हो
get
गई
onto
उस
them
बंदे
more
को
so.
भी नहीं
Suddenly
पता
Brazil is in the
बोल रहा है कोई भी
conversation,
फोन दे
and
दिया
playbook completely changes. We even see the
I don't
bullseyes
know.
kind of shift, right? At first it was just BRU. If we take BRU down, we own the world. But now it's the entirety of Thailand. Indonesia starts to step up. And I dare say South Asia, India, Nepal, Pakistan have a dang good chance of making something happen. But I mean, even for Demon's Pride, smiles on their face, completely different from the walk-in where they, where you know you can feel that nervousness. Now, I think they're just enjoying the moment, and maybe that's the best way to survive another day.
I think that's something while we were back in the green room, we all were talking, right? Some of the teams need to have some fun. Even Neptune mentioned this. You have to take these games at least with a bit of fun. If you don't, if there's too much in terms of thought put into it, a lot being, I would say, relayed between each other, a lot of talking that you should be doing this should have gone better, and all of those thoughts will eventually make you a lot more nervous, anxiety running high. That will end up messing your performance. And I think it's time to have a little bit of fun, to bring back the game that you use in your own region, where you top your region. That has to be brought back. That element, you have to isolate yourself. Like, I think that's what Gun Dynasty were channeled into yesterday. If they channel back that today, they should be back in the top 4 and pushing competition out.
Yeah, if we have seen TAG
mid start हो रहा है मैच नंबर 9th मैच स्टार्ट है इसको जय माता दी ये स्पैम कर ये स्पैम कर दो गाइस ये स्पैम कर दो TAG
you know, were technically the better team, but they just couldn't be the ones that qualified. They made it here. Yes, they made it here. And if they are the rightful ones, they are the ones that deserve that spot. It's a long time coming. Took them 3 years. Here they are. But so far, the team feels like it has been slightly reoccurring, right? With the region still at the bottom, and I'm looking at Demon's Pride to change that.
One more region to change this fact is going to be Bangladesh. I want to see Titan
It's TDC versus Tower. Don't beat my
Straw Hats, but as of now, it's not worked out. But Loud, the last one, BZP gets picked out, and that's going to be an end for Loud Sneakers here on Kalahari.
Yeah, even when we look at the replay here, Benel just had no way out, and that was the wipeout onto Gun Dynasty as well. That is a major setback. The captain of BRU turning it up when it's needed. And they have found DRX Pratik also removed. I believe that is maybe 4 teams out of the lobby already. Loud actually got picked off screen.
Yeah. Last player, just as the game resumed, the player got picked off, did not have a chance to go in for a revive, and this is how brutal as we get to the halfway mark. At least halfway in terms of the 6 games they had, but they're already at match 9. 3 more games left, deciding the fate of whether they qualify directly into the finals or they'll be pushed to the survival stage or completely knocked out of the tournament itself. But still, Loud's captain, Trap, who was there with an interview on stage, still being the player at the 2nd spot with the most eliminations next to Russia at 33. That says a lot about Loud.
And even the first time when we saw Trap playing on that big stage, we know that this guy is a very aggressive guy, very full of energy, likes to go in aggressively like a madman.
मुझे लगा पहले से स्टार्ट होगा ये तो स्कैम हो गया गाइस
Personality and value in times of
मुझे लगा पहले से स्टार्ट होगा
not doing that good. TEC, excuse
भाई इसमें ऐसा भी फीचर है उधर से स्टार्ट होता क्या बात कर रहे हो Are you sure? इस तो BGMI में भी आना चाहिए गाइस मस्त चीज है ये किसी को अनफेयर भी ना लगे
Keep it alive. The revival does come true. Only enough for one, but one is better than none.
It's better than completely getting eliminated. Top 16 position, yes, no one. They are surrounding him, making sure he has nowhere to run. And that was a quick movement coming through. That was just
AGL फाइव बैन मार दिया AGL वाइट गरम है जेट AGL वाले गरम है फुल गरम से आए तवे पे हाथ लग के आए तवे से देखो ना तवा खुद लेके आ गए जल्दी में तवा भी साथ में लेके आ गए देखो जल्दी में तवा भी साथ में लेके आ गए जल्दी में तवा भी साथ में लेके आ गए इतना गरम है
to a global trophy that was taken by BRU.
He was भाई उधर से स्टार्ट हुआ था इस मैच बिग फैन ऑफ अरे आखिरी बात मैं बिग फैन हूँ मैं आपका फैन भाई
hunt for more of those Falcons members. Limit
साथ में फ्री फायर खेलना है, साथ में मैं बीजीएमआई खेलता हूँ भाई। ये तो वॉच पार्टी के फ्री फायर अभी भी खेल सकते हैं, आप बताओ खेल लेंगे, आप बताओ। आखिरी पास था, पहला पास था तो भाई इवोस फाल्क मुक्का मार दिया, देखा आपने? ये दवा देखो इनका चैट, दवा देखो दवा चैट, ये दवा देखो बिल्कुल चला गया भाई, क्या मार दिया उसने। ठीक है तो फिर मीडियम आईडी दे देना, खेल लेंगे साथ में। जेल मारते हैं, क्या खेलते हैं, मजे करेंगे।
From Indonesia, and ever since then, it has been
पास्ता आया है, पास्ता खाएंगे।
ecosystem over the years, and I'm happy that Aurora has made this change and made this move.
अरोरा उनके सब्सक्राइबर पर क्या सरप्राइज है? 1K सब्सक्राइबर पे कुछ करते हैं, चलो गिव अवे करते हैं, क्या गिव अवे करते हैं, कुछ करते हैं।
There's a lot more to be desired, but the circle has its own
1K पे हम डांस करेंगे, 1K पे गरबा खेलेंगे, गरबा खेलेंगे। ओके सर, IG में भेज दो, IG मेरा IG है, बताता हूँ, IG.Mavxx, कोई टाइप कर दो IG.Mavxx, IG.Mavxx। इसमें पोज हुआ था और उधर से ही मैच स्टार्ट हुआ, पता है? मुझे लगा पहले से स्टार्ट हुआ होगा, कुछ फायदा ही नहीं हुआ। जॉन्टी भाई ने वो वायर काटी ना, मुझे लगा जॉन्टी भाई ने वायर इसलिए काटी होगी कि मैच वापस शुरू होगा तो एपेक्स गेमिंग को फायदा होगा, पर कुछ फायदा ही नहीं हुआ, रीमैच ही नहीं हुआ। गेम वहां से स्टार्ट होता है, इतने गए उतने गए, ऐसा बढ़िया है, ये फीचर अच्छा है। पबजी में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, गेम पे फोकस करते हैं। DRS प्रतीक भाई अच्छा खेल रहा है भाई। बुरे राम ने बाहर फिनिश निकाल दी, ये कब हुआ? लाउड भी बाहर निकल गई, बुरे राम जा रही है फाइनल, नजर लगी है, ये लगा है ठीक है इसको, जैसे चीजें निकाला ना।
57 is where Titan Esports Club is sitting at. Demon's Pride is at 46. Paradox out of this game at least. So if Demon's Pride have an opportunity to score at least 8-9 points, they can instantly take the position away from Titan Esports Club.
मेरा हम देखो ना 170 पॉइंट्स पे क्या स्कैन मार रहा है भाई, गाइस कुछ स्कैन मार रहा है, देखो ये क्या कर रहा है?
If you are Titan Esports Club in this point of
He's
time,
scanning something.
I guess blessing in disguise is that DP they have been struggling quite a
अच्छा
little bit.
रिकॉल दिया उसने वहाँ से,
BRU finding Blade
उसको ये हाई ग्राउंड से मार रहा है कुछ,
bottom dwellers are getting fed into the meat grinder.
यहाँ से ये सारे अरोरा वाले बड़े में जो रहा है, ऐसे एनर्जी चाहिए, कुछ मौका ना होने, एनर्जी चाहिए,
on the other end Aurora on Falcons.
एनर्जी चाहिए ब्रो।
Madara is the last one. He's behind a glue wall. Jonah has already called it, and the entire squad is rushing to him. And with him going down, that's the end for Demon's Pride. They wanted to rank up. They wanted to get eliminations, but it seems like the Esports Club, the worry at least on Kalahari will die down.
आउट तो जय दो बराबर दो बढ़िया भाई, जय दो बढ़िया, जयला तुम कर रसूं वाले जयला।
At least to the western side of Foundation, you have Kororo planted right in the middle, but Falcons suffered some heavy damage. And in fact, Kororo is the only survivor, so they should be a non-factor if you are concerned about Team Falcons. TEC split up, which we did see, and Aurora on
What's
the radar
up?
as well. This is quite the clear path to push through. They have stragglers like
क्या हाल चाल है उधर?
like members from TEC and Falcons get a couple of free points.
आईडी भेज तू अपनी आईडी भेज, हम खेलते वहाँ बीजी में तो नहीं खेल सकता होगा तू,
trying to hold off with
वहाँ कैसे बीजीएमआई खेलता है?
also start shifting as the zone
सच बता।
completely shrinks. They'll only wait and try to see
यूपीए
if they could spot somebody
VPN कनेक्ट किया था।
while at a distance. Voltmaker being spotted. That's going to be Evo's fighting for elimination.
ओहो
We spoke about them. They had the
क्या
advantage
जस?
inside the circle. They laid their foundation, but unfortunately,
जबरदस्त
the
knowledge।
circle did not allow it. It forced them. Mavxx will still be able to find Takure is out.
ये क्या कर रहा है भाई?
As well, Evo's still firing, finding
ये
elimination.
क्या कर रहा है देखा आपने?
Out AGAL in the mix.
लाइक करो लाइक करो लाइक करो शेयर करो शेयर કેવી રીતે કેવી રીતે પોસિબલ છે ભાઈ? ओ वन शॉट दे दिया एजीएल वालों ने। ये नई गेम ये ट्राई करते हैं अपन। अच्छा मोदी આવ્યો હતો ત્યારે બધું કરી ગયો। મોદી સાહેબ આવ્યા હતા એમના। मोदी जी गए थे उधर, समझ रहे हो?
Everybody needs help right now. Even
अरोरा वाले हाई ग्राउंड ले लिए तो खत्म है, पर लाउड थी, लाउड वाले नहीं जाने देंगे ब्रो। पर क्या जोन डैमेज क्या कर रहा है वो देखो ना। ये लाइंस एक दूसरे के कनेक्शन में रहती है। कोई बताएगा ये क्या है? कार्स आ गई हवा में भाई, 3 कार्स आ गई, पर फिर भी वो लोग नहीं ले रहे क्योंकि ये बीजीएमआई थोड़ी है। मोदी ने क्या किया ऐसा कि स्टार्ट हो गई गेम? कुछ बताओ भाई। ये अरोरा टीएस पे भाई मार दिया अरोरा वाले को। भाई क्या पसड़ चल रही है। टॉप 3 हो गई, 3 ही टीम बची है अभी। वो एजीएल वाले जोन से जाएंगे, एजीएल वाले जाएंगे जोन से। एक बंदा चला गया देखो। इस 4v3 भाई ईवोस है, ईवोस है, मान लो ईवोस है। मस्त टीम है। ओए ईवोस वाले 2 ही बचे। 1 ईवो भाई તમારા અમદાવાદને રહેવા દેજો, અમદાવાદ રહેવા જ ભાઈ। એજીએલ વાળાને નિકાલ દિયા બ્રો, મસ્ત એજીએલ મસ્ત। તમારા અમદાવાદને અમે वाह वाह वाह। मोदी जी जहाँ जाते हैं इंडिया वालों का कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा करते हैं। बीजीएमआई जरूर, पर रौनक बता रहा था उधर जर्मनी में नहीं चलती। क्या सीन है? ऑस्ट्रेलिया चल रही है, ये क्या बात है? जर्मनी नहीं चलती, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में चल रही है। कुछ तो आप स्कैम कर रहे हो मेरे साथ। स्क्रीनशॉट भेजो, मुझे देखना है तो आप सच में खेलते हो या नहीं। भाई कोई बताएगा? मेरा फ्रेंड बोल रहा है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में बीजीएमआई चल रही है। ये देखो ये बता रहा है कि टीएजी वाले इधर आते हैं, उधर से दूर रखो आप लोग। टीएजी वालों से पंगा नहीं लेने का, ऐसा बोल रहे हैं।
balancing themselves against Falcons because Falcons as long as they survive
રોમકો જર્મની છે તો જર્મની નથી આવતી એમ કે છે કેમ? જર્મની પબજી રમવું પડે છે, બીજીએમઆઈ નથી આવતી।
and they are still keeping themselves afloat in the top 4. However, AGAL, I think we spoke about this. Looking forward
ये नाम बहुत अच्छा ढूंढ गया है अपने पास का।
ideate especially as you make it to the
मुझे है ना ये चिल जही के नाम पे चिल लग रहा है, चिल समझ रहे हो? वो हमारे साथ स्कैम कर रहा है ऐसा लग रहा है। आप बताओ। ये देखो इनका कोच आया है, वो बता रहा है कि यहाँ टीएडी ड्रॉप लेती है, ठीक है? इनका रोटेशन ये यहाँ से आप 100 मीटर दूर रहो। टीएडी बहुत बढ़िया टीम है। देखो ये रोटेशन बताए टीएडी की उसने।
that's about it. That's I think the basic understanding we got.
देखा
I think so too.
टीएडी वालों से दूर रहते हैं हम थोड़ा,
That's true.
ताकि हमें पॉइंट्स
kind of a
उन्हें टीएजी वाले हमारे पंच ले जाएंगे समझ रहे हो
but it took a while to really build that chemistry. It's paying off.
एसी एनालिटिक्स के लिए सब्सक्राइब कर दो
Dream to even hit 30 points in a single
सब्सक्राइब कर
round.
दो
Usually these are the sort of the deal breakers. This is what decides who wins the championship or who gets ahead of the curve. AGAL, they come in with 32, but we did talk about EVO's 27 points. Not
एसी
BRU 26.
इनसाइट्स के लिए सब्सक्राइब कर दो
Opportunities for
सीरी ऑन हो गई भाई ओ कर रही है
they did have a little bit of a lift.
मैंने नहीं बुलाया तुझे
Sport elimination. Loud sneakers. Their opportunities are getting pushed out by some of the teams. The fight
स्टार्ट हो गई भाई मैंने तुझे बुलाया भी नहीं
EVOS is troubling them and they're getting eliminated a little too early. However, one thing that we've been talking about, right? Thailand taking away the trophy, even on the world stages, even here on EWC, even Indonesian teams now rising up the ranks. But AGL, they've been winning in the region. They want to get a big trophy, a global one. Can they do it?
पहला पास्ता कौन है
Built up on day 2, there is a story
पहला
that could be
पास्ता कौन है
Absolutely. I mean, I'm
पहला पास्ता कौन है
I
बताओ
think even Gain Dynasty are starting to feel the heat, right? Like they get 3 rounds in a row.
ये वन
This
टैप
was a
क्या
team
ही
that came
मानते
in
हैं
hard. They were tailing behind BRU. We talk about if we put
टीसीएस तो આપણે પછી ડિસ્કસ કરતો અહીંયા ટીસીએસ નું ડિસ્કસ કરવાનું જોઈએ લાઈવ
that BRU has. But I think right
થોડું
now,
સારું ના લાગે
the bigger question for them, right, is day one it. Is that it?
લાઈક કરો તમે કયો શું ચાલે છે ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયા કેવી ચાલે જોબ कैसी चल रही है जॉब आपकी ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भाई क्या मारा एजीएल ने मस्त निकाल दिया भाई 3v4 मार दिया गट ये ने साल मारा तुम्हें पागल हो गया पागल
and that is unfortunately not giving them
अगर टीएजी ने ऐसा निकाला 3v4 मैं पागल हो गया
right across this breather for everybody.
पहला पास्ता हमारा भाभी बीजा पास्ता तारा भाभी ने वच्चे ना ले आओ तारा भाभी ने वच्चे ना ले आओ मारा भाभी पहला पास्ता तारा ने मारा भाभी ये इनके तरफ से इश्यू है मेरे तरफ से नहीं है देखो मैं सही हूँ पेरिस जाओ ऊपर से चला जाओ समझे तू
We are going to challenge you and beat your score.
चला पेरिस जाओ जो
Yeah, you know, it feels like it might be
पेरिस
a
जाना
little
पड़ेगा रे
bit
बाबा
in favor for Barney, but I really want the prize list. Talking about because we are going to get
आपको बापू तो इंडिया वाले बोल कर आपने मर्स लास्ट टाइम आया हो तो क्या रे मरे
our name on it, or the name of the winner, really, you know. So that's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, and we want to win because we love.
क्या रे आवाज़
competition.
तो
So
कहीं
let's
नाचे
go.
हमारे
White glitter, come on, stand over here. Get the position down.
हमारा कहीं प्लान है
All right, looking great. Play golf. Ready? Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6. Don't be nervous. 5, 4, 3.
ये क्या गेम है वो वर्चुअल गोल्फ भी है भाई वहाँ पे जाकर हम एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं
Not too much power in the positioning here, but it looks like it's going directly there. A fair bit of
ये क्या किया उसने नहीं बॉल दिख रही है ये किया सिर्फ 90% एक्यूरेसी कुछ गड़बड़ है इनके सॉफ्टवेयर में मुझे जाके बनाना पड़ेगा
It does help to limber up a bit, you know. And the tips that I found is, you know,
मुझे जाके बनाना पड़ेगा
okay. Yep, not too much power, not too little power, just the right amount.
हमें जाके बनाना पड़ेगा
Keep your eye on the ball. Envision it going towards the pin.
कहाँ बॉल दिख रही है
You can do this, ladies.
कहाँ है बॉल ये रही मिल गई ये रही गाइस बॉल नहीं गया
No, it's okay. It's getting close.
नहीं गया अहमद मुझे पता था कब गया उससे ना नहीं दिवाली पछी मिलते दिवाली के बाद कॉल करते अहमदाबाद छू वो वही क्यों हुआ है वो ने गाइस मैं अहमदाबाद आया ना तो अहमदाबाद से भाग गया वहाँ भागा पता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया
AG because
Not
my
profit.
gosh, this squad has now gotten 2 booyahs. They might be going for that third one, but the rotation
Not
is
profit, right?
Great. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're focusing on the south stay, making sure that it is clear out of the area, and even contending off those rotation if someone will be coming in. And one thing that they did, especially in the previous game, is the fifth circle. The moment that it counts down to fifth circle,
9 matches खत्म हो गए वो TAG 81 points पे
and also damage them.
टॉप 4 आ जाएगी क्या
All those damage, they can also spot out the opponent,
टॉप 4 आ जाएगी क्या
and gives them more of a leeway so that they will not be rushing.
AGL और बुरेराम 180 और 190 ये तो कच्चा क्वालिफाइड है भाई 193 points और 180 points डन छे पास्ता सर पास्ता ही
Tag ended up being effective.
और बताओ
Hopefully AG is not going to be affected by it here coming up.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of things that they need to change right now, and just to get away from that Booyah curse.
Let's hope that that's going to be the case. Lucifer.
Mavxx कह दे
Is going to be affected by the Booyah curse or no?
पर एटलीस्ट एलिमिनेट नहीं होने चाहिए यार बॉटम 2 नहीं आना है बस हमें अभी यही है अभी बॉटम 2 आएंगे तो सर्वाइवल में चाहने का भी चांस नहीं मिलेगा तो अभी बॉटम 2 में नहीं रहना है ऊपर रहना है
Esports World Cup 2026 all gamers global actually go global.
इसके बाद ये 9th था ना मैच अभी तो 3 मैच हो रहे हैं फिर उसके बाद है शेड्यूल और आईफोटीजी का मैच मजा आएगा ब्रो
But we know the motherlode, the holy grail is
Done.
That's where the spirit of Free Fire is initially sold from the start of
जो
time.
ऊपर जास
I think for AJL,
तैयार है
very good chance.
कार चलाओ
Cypher now
उसको
second in terms of
हैं
points
चाहिए
eliminations. Still
पास्ता सर आप चुप पे जा रहे हो पास्ता सर
but overtaking Trap, who unfortunately was wiped out pretty early on.
पास्ता सर चौक पे जा रहे हो
Past the fact that snipers are pretty
भाई जोन बनाई हो देखो
most damage are all
जोन देखो जोन
As we head to Purgatory,
ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है नेक्स्ट जोन जाएगा ये कवर करेगा देखो ये ना ये जोन ही हटा दिया मैं सारे ऐसा करते हैं फाल्कन वर्सेस स्पीना फाल्कन वाला दिया है लाउड ने वो ये देखो लाउड वाला जीडी वर्सेस डीपी हो रहा है जीडी वर्सेस डीपी वो तीनों होल्ड मार रहे हैं देखो ना कैसे ये जैसे ही जाएगा ना उतना सरप्राइज मिलेगा ना दिया भाई ये दिया मुझे पता था यार चारों बैठे जास ओके ओके तो अंदर
with a great follow-up, exactly what Gun Dynasty
भाई
needs.
दे दिया
And with Gun Dynasty back in a
मस्त
play like
है
this, there's an opportunity that they stand a chance to get
गन डेमंस ऐसा कुछ ही नाम है ना
getting spiced up just for that position.
भाई इनको बॉक्सेस मिलते हैं हमारे बीजीएमआई में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मिला वही लूट लो लूट में जो भी मिला है ये रिकॉल करने गया देखा फाल्कन्स वाले लाउड पे चढ़ गए पूरा दे दिया चुप को दे दिया ये धूम मचाले करके निकल रहा है प्रतीक की ओर जा रहा है इनविजिबल था ये दोनों सेम टीम के फिर सही है रोटेशन मार रहा है फिर तो टीएजी वाले ने एक को मारा क्या हाँ औरोरा वाले को एलिमिनेट कर दिया भाई सोटो के दो और डूलिन के दो ब्लू स्पैम करता हूँ डब्ल्यू स्पैम करता हूँ टीएजी ऑन टॉप ब्रो टीएजी ऑन टॉप अरोरा है बे अरोरा को मार दिया सोचो अच्छा टीएजी अरोरा से ऊपर है ऊपर आ गई देखो ना 81 पे 83 पे थी AGL भाई ऑलरेडी टॉप पे ये क्वालिफाइड है सोचो ये चारों क्वालिफाइड है बॉटम 2 एलिमिनेट हो जाएगी और बीच वाली जो 5 से 10 है ना वो खेलेगी सर्वाइवल
He did get the information across to Shairu, who's now stuck at Ski Lodge. And
AGL
seem to be just chasing that one player who got stuck here, and Shairu will just
सायरो को चेस कर दिया, खत्म, सायरो गया है, वो कुछ नहीं कर सकता भाई। एजीएल वाले के घर से हाथ गर्म करता है, तवा साथ में लेके आए, इतनी जल्दी में आए कि तवा भी साथ में, इतनी प्रैक्टिस की, फिर यहाँ पे आके खाना बनाया उन्होंने। लाउड इवोस पे जा रहा है, लाउड वर्सेस इवोस हो रहा है ब्रो। इट्स थर्ड वर्सेस फोर्थ, इट्स थर्ड वर्सेस फोर्थ, थर्ड वर्सेस फोर्थ हो रहा है भाई। लाउड वाला कहाँ से गिरा ये? फाल्कन भी आ गई भाई। ब्रू सेना ने रिकॉल कर दिया, फाल्कन मार रहे, फाल्कन वाले रिकॉल करना चाहते हैं, इवोस वाले रिफ्लेक्स क्या मारा उसने, क्या रिफ्लेक्स मारा देखा।
Nice try over there, but quick recovery coming in from Limit. And even Neptune mentioned we have to see Limit X7 performing.
Falcon versus Loud.
In the recent meta, and he has to step up for the team. We've not seen the best coming in from his end yet.
Bro, क्या फ्लेक्स मारा, रिफ्लेक्स क्या मारा, करेरो को मार दिया। It was versus Loud, third versus fourth. Oof, दिया डबल किल कर रहा है निक्स ने। मस्त दिया।
That being said, we did see a bit of a stat there, but now 4 revives so far this game. Being the field medic and making sure that his team continuously stays alive in this match. It's a good chance that they run into Loud Snickers.
ओ रात को 9:30 बजे
have found something within
9:30 बजे घर जा रहा है, पार्टी करके, समझ रहे हो, पार्टी करके घर जा रहा है, पार्टी करके घर जा रहा है।
Now we need to see that conversion. We gotta go further. Disappointment and stress on Aurora Gaming's players face too.
पार्टी करके जा रहा है।
That's the toughest part, honestly, sitting through the entire lobby.
AGL versus PDX.
Right now, when you talk about exits, it's been Paradox who've been suffering eliminations. They've been getting pushed out of every game.
PDX वाले ने पूरा शॉट
And instantly Denrike, he thought it's going to be the launcher, but it's going to be Dew on the other end.
पेरोस ने मारा,
The sharpshooter Dew
सच में उसने मारा।
He's been phenomenal. 2 eliminations of his own, and Paradox
10 मस्त रिफ्लेक्स, इन लोगों के रिफ्लेक्स क्या मस्त है ब्रो।
It's not a wipe. They had a teammate across who will bring the whole squad back.
वापस रिकॉल हो गए देखो लाउड वाले। टीएजी वाले 4 ये बनेगा, मैंने बोला था ना वो। मान जाओ, आईजीएल हूँ मैं, आईजीएल हूँ मैं, नेट सर्कल ये, आईजीएल हूँ मैं। इसी बात पे लाइक कर दो, जल्दी लाइक कर दो। आईजीएल हूँ मैं भाई। एजीएल वाले क्या मार रहे हैं, टीसी 10 वाली सेकंड वर्सेस 10th पोजीशन वाली टीम खेल रही है। वो मैं आईजीएल ब्रो, मान जाओ। टीसी टूस क्या नाम है ब्रो, वो टूस भाई। ये स्प्लिट देखो इनका 2-2, 2 पोजीशन होल्ड मार रहे हैं टीएजी वाले, देख रहे हो। स्ट्रेटेजी अच्छी है वैसे, मैं समझ रहा हूँ थोड़ा गेम हिल कर रहा है, शायद रिकॉल करने का सोचेगा अगर वो एजीएल वाले नहीं आए तो।
To make things worse, AGAL still prowling nearby. We took at the rotations. Evo's Esports, the very bottom. BRU still holding on to Quarry and Marbleworks, which is their favorite spot on the western side of the map. The favorite drop spot.
PG ने वाइप कर दी थी और रामस ले लो।
True Marbleworks in just a little bit as Limit picks up Nyx again.
गन्स डेमन, गन डेमन से ऐसा कुछ नाम है इनका भाई। 7 एलिमिनेशन लेके बैठे हैं, सोचो। उछल दिया क्या मारा उसने।
Titan Esports Club, a quick drive by, putting the player out, getting an extra elimination. Gun Dynasty, they have to find a lot more.
TAG वालों से देखो ना 10 finishes पे खड़े 10 finishes
We're about to go for a fight, but they're stuck in between two teams on one
IGL
NBC,
वाले
DRS on the other.
ये जी
Demon
मस्त खेल रहे
Strike. So
हैं
it's a standard situation. They have to get out of it very soon.
I think Paradox also switching it up. This is one of the few
मुझे
cases
लगा
where they are
गन
able to
8 सेकंड का लगा TAG पर मार देंगे बूस्ट पर उन्होंने मुझे नहीं मारा ओए हेड था उनका अगर स्नाइपर होती सोचो वन टैप जाता हो वन टैप
missed opportunity there for Gun Dynasty. But now having 6 out of the 8 eliminations for the team. TEC gets full revive. I think Gun
भाई वो
Dynasty
शॉटगन है क्या शॉक दे दिया शॉक क्या होल्ड मारा एक दो अंदर है एक बाहर है होल्डिंग पोजीशन देखो बस ड्रॉप आ गया ये ड्रॉप देखो पीछे आया ना वो इनको खा रही वो लस्सी समोसा वो सब कैसे बेचते हैं भाई लस्सी समोसा है ना वो सिर्फ कुछ स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रीमर को ही मिला है वो अभी मेरे में नहीं आया शायद रुको मैं एक बार चेक कर लेता हूँ बताता हूँ आपको गाइड करता हूँ अगर मेरे में आ गए हो तो सही है नहीं नहीं मेरे में नहीं आया शायद लच्छे समोसा वाली चीजें वो कुछ स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रीमर्स है ना उनको ही शायद 8 बिट वाले SATL वाले और कुछ वो फीचर्ड स्ट्रीमर्स है ना उनको ही मिले हैं ओह मेडल दे दिया सही है ब्रो फर्स्ट हूँ मैं
So crucial rotations as we are getting closer to the last
Bye.
of Group A. Everybody's trying to
TAG यार ये भी TAG का बुया है देखना रिवेंज टाइम लास्ट मैच में उन्होंने वो जल्दी वाइप हो गए थे 0 पॉइंट पे इस बार उन्होंने लाउड को वाइप कर दिया सोचो लाउड नहीं अरोरा सॉरी माफ कर निकल जाता है अरोरा को वाइप कर दिया भाई 0 पॉइंट पे सोचो लाइक करो भाई जो भी नया आया है लाइक करो लाइक करना मत बोलो थोड़ा बूस्ट मिल जाता है भाई चैनल को बूस्ट मिलता है सही है ना हम भी थोड़ा सोचा ना इतनी मेहनत करो AGL नेमलेस नेम ही नहीं उनका दूसरा कौन है AGL सैफा बेरोस माफ करना अगर गलत नाम पढ़ रहा हो तो शायद गलत हो सकता है मैं पैराडॉक्स भाई पैराडॉक्स वाले फाल्कन पैराडॉक्स पे चढ़ गई है रिवाइव कर देगा वो ये TAG को कौन मार रहा है DP मार रही है क्या ब्रो गया भाई क्या मारा देखो ना फाल्कन 13 एलिमिनेशन पे भाई कम बेकार है किसी को तो भाई AGL वाले मार AGL वाले देखो ना AGL वाले नहीं जीने नहीं देते लोगों को 2 बंदे किसने मार दिए भाई नेड मारा ना वो वन टैप जैसा मारा देखना जंप करके वन टैप देखो फाल्कन के ऊपर चढ़ रही है AGL भाई ऐसे ही टॉप पे नहीं है AGL भाई मस्त टीम है फुल TAG का है हमारी टीम TAG का है TAG को दिखाओ भाई AGL क्लोज में भी उतनी सही है अकेला बंदा बचा है फाल्कन का सोचो पास्ता भाई इधर बैठे हो चले गए फाल्कन के भाई फाल्कन को मार दिया 10th पोजीशन पे है फाल्कन क्या बढ़ता है
There's a possibility for a third booyah with how things are going for
AGL nameless.
BRU hasn't really shown much action yet, much activity. Only one elimination so far. So we're down to the last 8 teams. Paradox Gaming, Enrique perishes to the blue. Barrow is actually getting knocked down by the play zone. Same as Cypher. Nameless getting it out of this one. DRS getting some free pickings. A hefty price to pay for AJL.
Yeah, playing it outside the zone, we've always talked about it. We thought
DRS वाले तो पूरा ब्रिज है भाई क्या एडवांटेज है DRS पे
they came in as a surprise. The real soldiers, they want their opportunity. As Titan Esports Club are trying to close the distance, they do not want to give
मस्त
away.
एडवांटेज है
Now they have another challenge that's going to be Loud. If they're able to secure some more points,
Loud versus DRS होने वाला है सोचो
pushed off by Titan Esports Club because they're still surviving.
Loud कहाँ चला गया वो बंदा क्या हाइट ले ली उसने
With the AC-80 finds an opening now trap with the Winchester from afar, already shooting bullets, and then
वो मार्क्स कवर कर सकता है ऊपर
590 pumping bullets. Pratik and Stroix trying to hold the ground for the time being, and Takure
और सारे नॉक हो गए सारे नॉक हो गए ब्रो
too far away outside the zone. Damage being done. Gosha has to be the savior here. Pratik gets confirmed.
ये दो कैसे हो सकता है डिसएडवांटेज में चला गया वो
Mavxx, can he make that clutch happen? That's gonna be one.
अगर वो नॉक नहीं होता ना उसकी पोजीशन रुक से होती
Find the isolations. Mavxx again. Down to just 50.
लाउड वाले ने मस्त होल्ड मारा
Corner secures it. DRS lives on.
DRS वाले भाई
You have to give it to Stroix over there. The way he was able to hold at the edge of the circle, and DRS still keep fighting, taking Loud out. Evos on the other end, the 1K, the last man standing. And at this point, there's no opportunity. Bolt Maker as well.
यूएस वाला अकेला बंदा ये जी 8 एलिमिनेशन पे आ गई पीएजी ने किसने मारा
Held them front, get some points. They find them out, and that is DRS out, and Russia his position revealed, and team A
भाई केडी को
they get that elimination.
वापस टॉप 3 में आ गई पीएजी है
Have another chance, but guess who else has?
ये है ब्रो
Pakistan on the radar.
Blue versus
Right into the dens of BRU.
it's India versus
From TAG, they might be able to get it done, and BRU now facing a 4v8 odds. Jonah good on the one. Jazzy knocks down Wasana.
क्या मार दिया
Madara shot down as
भाई
well.
पीएजी अगर ब्लू ने मार ओ
On DP by BRU would be the undoing.
सोटो क्या मार रहा है सोटो एलिमिनेशन चुरा रहा है ब्रो ये है ब्रो कम बैक है मैन व्हाट आज कम बैक है आज टीएजी का कम बैक है
They join AGAL on that leaderboard.
टीएजी का कम बैक है ब्रो
And I think at this point of time, Lucifer,
let's go
guaranteed survival round. Guaranteed a second life.
They needed this. This is what was in the making for Tag. Team Apex Gaming.
इंडियन प्लेयर स्पैम कर रहा है
They did lift the
टीएजी है ब्रो
and now it's time they get closer towards an international stage trophy. And
पहला हुआ दूसरा हीरो क्या तो हम बहुत अच्छे हैं या तो हम बहुत गंदा कंसिस्टेंसी है अरे भूया
And in the
समझ
first
रहे
year, the debut on the biggest stage ever, they lock in 2. And it means just much more just for TAG, for the region itself. I think after today, or after we depart from Paris, they are going to be an inspiration for the rest of India. But final sequences again, TAG, opportunistic in their pursuit of glory, with a little bit of a help from DP, but overall TAG impressive finisher.
देखना 150 ये तो इजी भूया था इजी भूया यार इजी था इजी था
Just like we spoke about AGL, right? Cool, calm, and composed, and that's what Team Apex Gaming do here. It didn't look like they were rattled by it.
आज मैंने जिस पोजीशन दिया ना आज मेरे में जिनका है ना तीनों मारे
In the words of the players, I don't blame them. I mean, again, they were. It's either BRU get their 4th in the group stage, either that or Pakistan gets their 1st at the hands of Demon's Pride, or TAG getting a 2nd, and we know which one is written in stone. I mean, if you are BRU, what are you worried about, right? You're doing great regardless. But with that being said, sure that some of the players have something to say, and we have one prepared with Mavxx.
Are we in? Are we live? I believe we're live. I'm not hearing anything, but I'm gonna take it. How's it going, everyone? We're back on the main stage. We do, of course, have Nix here joining us from Loud Snickers. My name's Barney Banks. I've got Carol Bombshell joining us here. We're going to ask some questions. Nix, let's kick things off. Let's talk about strategy. Okay. Because yesterday, it seemed like the gameplay was very slightly different. Today, you seem like you're getting a bit more aggressive. Eliminations are coming in. Was that the plan, or is that just the way that the games have gone today?
Falando um pouco sobre estratégias, a gente viu que ontem vocês começaram muito agressivos, muitas eliminações. E esse era o plano desde o início? Vocês queriam começar nesse estilo mais agressivo?
Não, a gente foi mais um improviso, mais oportunidades que a gente via na hora. O nosso estilo de jogo é mais centralizado e acaba que os times que estão ao nosso redor, no trap de lança, pá, assim, pô, fica mais fácil também, né?
Well, that was not the plan at the beginning. Yeah, we had to improvise. We took opportunities. So
ये
we see
जो
the
top
teams
bro
during rotation. So we just took opportunities.
मोड बना है मोड कैसे बना ले मुझे नहीं आइडिया रुको रिसर्च करनी पड़ेगी
Team captain just gave us the call, and then we did it, the aggressive games type.
रुक मुझे देखना पड़ेगा
Consider your group, the group of death,
2 मिनट
as we like to call. Consider that including
हाँ,
the
रुको।
Reign Champions, Evils, even Team Falcons, Buriram.
ये जी है ब्रो क्या बुया निकाल
Same group, make it the toughest team in the tournament so far. Tendo times, você considera o seu grupo, o grupo da morte, levando em consideração que tem os atuais campeões, o time da Evos, tem também Team Falcons que venceu no primeiro ano, tem uma Buriram também. Você acha que tendo esses times que são fortes, faz o grupo de vocês serem um grupo da morte?
Eu acredito que sim, porque se não fosse por isso, não seria campeões mundiais, né? São times que são muito bons em endgame e acaba que no endgame esses times que são muito bons dá uma dificuldade assim. Eu acho que o nosso grupo é o da morte, mas a gente também somos bons, né? À toa que estamos aí distante do top 5, se eu não me engano.
Yeah, definitely we consider these teams the group of that. Of course, we are among the strongest teams here so far. And having like the reigning champions and also Team Falcons who won AWC 2024 definitely make this group the strongest so far, especially because we have all this kind of teams here from Thailand, Indonesia, but also we are not behind them because we reached the top 5.
You're definitely not. You're performing incredibly well so far, and obviously a few more games to go to close out the group stage for you guys. Now, I want you to cast your mind back, because playing regionally before you got here onto the global stage, you guys are playing incredibly well in Brazil. So I just want to know, did that boost your confidence coming into EWC, knowing that in the later stages of this tournament, you're likely to face off against some of your Brazilian rivals?
Bom, chegar aqui como os campeões, né, do Campeonato Brasileiro faz com que vocês consigam chegar aqui nesse momento mais fortes, vocês consigam jogar um pouco mais parelho. Você acha que essa confiança de fato veio junto com vocês?
Sim, com certeza. Não tem nada melhor que sermos campeões, principalmente dos campeonatos oficiais que teve no Brasil, que é o FFWS e o Clash Masters. Acaba que, sim, a gente chega muito confiante porque, querendo ou não, a gente acredita, o nosso time em si, que Free Fire é bastante confiança. Tanto é que no dia de hoje a gente teve algumas quedas muito boas justamente por causa da confiança. Vinha time, nós chegava e matava, oportunidade matava. Isso, querendo ou não, leva o astral do time dentro das partidas e acaba que, sim.
Well, definitely arriving here at the AWC 26 as Brazilian champions definitely give us a lot of confidence. So we arrive here knowing that playing Free Fire, we need to be confident here. So with our team, we had really good talks, really good chemistry, and we team up, and that's the result. Perfect. Nix, for us to finish our interview, one more question. Your country mates performed well in Group B last night. How are you feeling about Fluxo and Lo's performance yesterday? I forgot to translate. That's okay, that's happened all the time. Nix, você viu, né, as partidas dos jogos de ontem, né, do Fluxo e do time da Luz. Como é que você se sente vendo os times brasileiros também indo bem por aqui?
Cara, eu fico muito feliz, mesmo sendo rivais no Brasil, a gente ainda continua sendo brasileiro. Eu sempre torço pelo melhor do time da Luz, dos moleques do Fluxo também. Eu fico muito feliz de ver, porque eu não gosto, sendo bem sincero, eu não gosto desse gringo não, mas só dos brasileiros só.
That was a good answer. You're gonna like this. Okay, for sure, I'm really happy for Fluxo and Los because we are all from Brazil. And of course, we want Brazil on the top. It doesn't matter. And especially because I don't like these other teams here. I don't like the other regions. So yes, Brazil on the top for sure. Okay, thanks so much for the interview. Good luck in the next matches. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And we are back in the studio. You are back in the studio.
Bonjour, it's Yunsu, and right here I'm at our co-streamer place. Once again, we're meeting our famous character, Mavxx, and of course, our super fan from Team Secret, Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người, thì hôm nay cũng là ngày thi đấu thứ hai của Free Fire EWC 26 rồi. Thì không biết là mình nói về ngày hôm qua một chút đi. WEG cũng như là Team Secret đã có cho mình
Done बना दिया mode आखिरी पास था इस mod ना mode of our channel बना दिया.
Chào tất cả mọi người, thì nếu mà
Hello.
của series WG ngày hôm qua thì bản thân mình thấy là chưa ổn vô lắm các bạn. Hôm nay sẽ là ngày thi đấu quyết định của series WG. Các bạn biết là một ngày thi đấu sau 2 ngày thi đấu thì chúng ta chỉ lấy 2 đội thôi.
आखिरी पास था mode हमारा.
Hôm nay buộc series WG phải thi đấu hết sức có thể để ghi tên mình vào trận chung kết.
Đến vậy सही है ना. तू चीली है ना कि सच में चाहिए? चीली है ना कि सच में चाहिए? तो चील को भी बना दो अगर तू चाहिए तो.
So as we can see from yesterday, WEG from Mavxx
चील को भी बना देते फिर.
doesn't feel that good, that well about Team Secret, since they are doing just only a decent ranking in our group stage A, of course, but overall he said that
मुझे मजाक लग रहा है. तू सही नहीं है ऐसा लग रहा है. पता नहीं चील भी हो.
getting into the group tomorrow would be a
कोई ना क्या चील अरे कुछ नहीं चील बोल रहा था कुछ. मुझे लगा तू चील है पहले ऐसा लगा था अभी नहीं.
Today is a very important day for everyone, both in Group A and Group B. We all must get into the top 4 if they don't want to be left behind. Of course, if you're not getting into top 4, you're still having chances. But if you're at ranking 11,
मैंने चील को भी बना दिया मॉडरेटर. और कोई बाकी बच्चा है? स्मिथ रेगुलर आएगा ना तो ही बनाएंगे उसको, वरना नहीं बनाना. स्मिथ को रेगुलर आएंगे ना तो बनाए. वो रेगुलर वो देखने आएगा ना तो ही मॉडरेटर बनाना, वरना स्मिथ को नहीं बनाना गाइस. समझे? स्मिथ को अगर वो रेगुलर आया ना तो चील नहीं देखा तो वॉच is not watching right, I guess.
Vâng ạ, và nghe kết quả có vẻ rất là khả quan và cũng như là tinh thần của người dân Việt Nam mình rất là đoàn kết với nhau. Thì em cũng không biết là em muốn hỏi là thường những cái buổi livestream mà nó mang tính chất quan trọng như thế này
quan trọng như thế này thì xưa giờ mình chỉ xem một mình thôi, nhưng hôm nay thì có cậu em
join
tất nhiên là có cậu ấy.
Guys, अगर मैं ये म्यूट कर दूं, अगर मैं मेरा म्यूट कर दूं तो इसमें से आवाज जाएगी? Yes, why not? क्यों नहीं चाहेगी? Obviously support our favorite.
And watch the live stream alone, but today of course he has a very
co-stream कर रहे हैं
and overall I
समझ
can
रहे हो?
see normal his number is very impressive because
Smith Joshi નથી. Smith Joshi is not watching. He is working in his office right now.
normally as I can see
I guess
you have around like 10k or 20k viewers at the same time watching the live stream with him and support
Yes.
for Team Secret or any Vietnam representer in the game.
I am supporting team Apex gaming,
So
not a
it's a very
secret right
pleasure
now.
for everyone to be here with me, so we can enjoy this very amazing atmosphere right here at
Then we will
26.
support
Cảm ơn các bạn.
SATL.
Vậy thì không biết là anh có lời nào cuối cùng
SATL
gửi đến cho tất cả các bạn khán giả
after
Việt Nam
7
cũng như
PM
là
I
chiến
guess.
dịch của mình tại sân khấu không ạ?
तो 1 minute देखने दे दो.
Mình mong rằng tất cả các bạn đang coi livestream ở
SATL matches.
toàn các kênh sóng của Revive Việt Nam sẽ cổ vũ hết mình cho series WZ và đồng hành cùng họ hành trình này nha.
SATL के matches देखते हैं ना. तातो चले कब है? 7 बजे है भाई आज. 7 बजे के बाद. 7 से 7:30. 7:30 से हाँ. We know.
Seven, the camera's on. Seven.
Wake up, Seven!
Sorry about that. I was having deja vu. I was dreaming that AG and Tag won again. They did. They actually ended up doing it again.
Actually happened. It's not your dream.
Especially Tag getting off that booyah curse that we saw earlier from them. I mean, this squad has finally been able to step up, considering that some of those top teams have been slowing down. And I'm
Well, it's really getting tough right now for Gun Dynasty because it seems like the 3 games. It's something. There's a lot more that they can do right now, but I think they might be able to catch up.
Guys,
second half, but
SATL matches
they'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, Gun
But,
Dynasty groups day 1, they actually have a 12.8 elimination average and 4.75 for placements. And guess what they've dropped down to for these matches? 1 elimination and 3 for placement. That is quite a significant sort of jump from yesterday's performance for Gun Dynasty.
By
And then who is
29 points.
trailing on their tails? Team Falcons.
So
And I mean, I
true.
did sort of touch on this at the earlier stages. They needed to have a little bit more of eliminations under their belt to be able to push themselves up into that top 4. And with their track record right now, I mean, they're doing it. Although they sort of fell out in 8th place in that last match, they did have about 14 eliminations as well. So this is like the consistency and the massive advance that Falcons needed to be able to keep themselves out of that survival stage.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, hopefully they keep up that consistency because there was one time when Team Falcons was hunted by Aurora Gaming. And
Message delete नहीं कर पा रहा है.
all right. Hopefully that doesn't
कैसा क्यों? तो शायद मैसेज डिलीट करने का ऑप्शन नहीं है.
Saying the name once again. Anyways,
आपको सबसे हाईएस्ट वाले राइट्स दिए.
trying to go for a revive. It's just unfortunate. They have to stay outside.
क्या बात कर
Aurora
रहे हो?
Gaming can soak up full squad, and then the moment that one by one, Team Falcons going for those revives. Aurora Gaming is just capitalizing and shooting them down.
क्या बात कर रहे हो
This
bro?
is exactly what we expect to see from the EWC, right?
Yep.
Just Apex, they weren't so great yesterday, but today, 17 elimination points in just one game. That is so amazing. AGAL, 16 elimination points. It shows that the team that weren't performing so well yesterday are finally feeling the pressure, and being under that pressure lit the fire under their bottoms. So yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing today.
Neptune gave him a
Check करो.
taggle. Because it's tag and AGL.
किसी का मैसेज डिलीट मत करना पड़ा.
Yeah, and these are the improvements that we need to see. And
किसी का मैसेज डिलीट मत करना मुझे अपनी पास्ता जी लाइक करो गाइस. अभी भी मैच नंबर 11 स्टार्ट होने वाला है. मैच नंबर 11. It's 2 match to go. DAG top पे आ रहे, टैग top पे आ रहे, टैग on top pro. टैग on top पे आ रही है. चेक करना पास्ता चेक करो जरा.
Some of the stuff that we've been talking about has been none other than AG.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from earlier, we were talking about how well they are holding the south side of each circle, how they go rotation is safe. And in the previous round, we saw them in the north. So,
spam karo guys. Take on top. Take on top.
thing is, even if you make that adjustment, it's not easy. But good thing that they have
Take
good
on top.
snipers, good information getters, as well as those frontliners who keep those paths safe for them. So the rotation, either way, south or north, east or west, it doesn't matter for AGAL.
Well, let's take a look at the overall ranking because we will have only 2 matches left of Group A.
दो मैच ही बाकी है ग्रुप ए के सोचो
200-point mark. I think it's
205 है पर इसको कौन पीछे छोड़ेगा 199 181 173 कौन पीछे छोड़ेगा इसको
Yeah, of course. I mean, seeing how AGAL right now has collected 199 points, we all know that AGAL is one of the strongest when it comes to Southeast Asia. But when it comes to the EWC, this is actually quite a surprise. I mean, Loud, you guys better get focused, okay? Because what the hell is happening right now? I mean,
TAG तो आ गई इसके तुरंत बाद TAG भी देखना
well, maybe it's not working.
7th position पे TAG लग रही है मुझे.
Yeah, and if we have a look at this, like, so
we're talking about the AGAL
and their consistency is still shining
like करे जो भी नहीं आया like करे. यूरोप ने बोला था ना 116. अगर ये लोग स्टार्टिंग से सही खेल रहे होते, स्टार्टिंग से सही बोल सोचो 78 एलिमिनेशन पॉइंट है सिर्फ ये सब के देखो आगे वाले का देखना है रुको.
Yeah, and if
नहीं सही है
is focusing on those rotations,
सही है.
so it looks like
लाइक करो TAG उन टॉप स्पैम करता पूरे चैट में सिर्फ एक ही चल रहा है TAG विल फ्लैग फिर एसएटीएल फिर TAG दोनों इसके बाद वाले इवेंट में आए मतलब 8 बजे ग्रुप बी में है ना वो लोग के बाद स्पैम कर दो गाइस. Demon Sprite भाई कैमोस खेल रही थी 11 पे ब्रो.
Possibly we could see another shift here on the leaderboard, Neptune.
We'll have to fight. Let's see though, because even against AGAL, they're struggling.
Yeah, blue bro, pasta hai bro, pasta pura supporter hai.
Will be able to bring a fight
Don't
against
forget
AGAL,
to like.
with Katush, the only one remaining in this point, on one
Like
point in the
guys.
game. It was hard. It was difficult. Even with the Moors, he
Pasta
couldn't
hai
use that
bro.
stealth bite to get away. He couldn't be stealthy enough to pull away from that engagement.
पास्ता को एडिटर ढूंढना कोड्स के लिए कोड्स बनाने हमें लाइव स्ट्रीम के
after terrible calls, and it's like it's not even about the bad strategy, it's positioning as well. So I'm really racking my brain to like how can we help them, how can we make them feel more comfortable and at least try to do something more, because it's just sad to see at this point, honestly.
Some of those teams that were supposed to be listening to us aren't listening to us, and the ones that are currently secure in the finals, for some reason, they're listening to us. I talked about this team earlier, actually, and it's none other than Loud. We were talking about positionings with
Loud
able to do. Loud, I feel like this top teams might be using this last couple of games to try something different, because we didn't see Loud in the middle of the circle this summer.
Yeah, I mean, they took the position of AGAL on the south side, outside of the circle, so it's a good strategy as well, like halfway through. If you will be read out by the other teams, you will be anticipated by the other teams as well. So you will have to switch it up. You have to change your approach, otherwise you'll be targeted so much. And you did mention how critical it is for the top 4, or for them to get in the top 4 and secure it.
Yeah, you can't sit in that top 4 and be like, oh, you know, my job is done here, because there are people tailing on you that also want that position as well. I mean, no one wants to go to the survival stage. They don't want to have to fight again. So this is where these next couple of games are going to be incredibly crucial for these teams. And, you know, we have been touching on, I think
we are just 9 subscribers away.
Like, that is an exceptional lead for them.
1K subscriber करने हैं
range of this leaderboard needs to be able to be a little bit more cohesive and get those placement points on top of getting eliminations, because yeah, cool, you can make it into that final
like करो like
but everybody else wants that same
सारे
kind
like
of
कर
so
दो.
we need to see obviously exceptional eliminations right at the start and a little bit more strategy to push themselves into that final zone and be able to secure a spot.
Subscribe कर दो भाई 1K करने हैं भाई 1K
up for grabs, right? So
1K करने हैं subscribe bro.
It is time for us to see what's gonna happen next.
Oh, I'm gonna save us the curse, and I'm gonna send it to the casters instead. Yesterday we were able to bless some teams, wondering if they were gonna be able to get
match number 5
now with 2 Buyas apiece. So Husky,
today it's match number 11, overall match number 11.
I am
overall
pretty
match
sure
number
at this
11.
point of time that anything is possible, and I'm looking forward to see if AGL can get that 3rd, or maybe TAG. But I gotta say, spicy words from Nyx, from
मजा आने वाला है 2 मैच है. तो अगर यहाँ से टेक यहाँ से take qualify हो गई.
I'm here for the vibes, man.
Exactly. At this point, none of the things that happened yesterday in terms of points, in terms of how storylines were built, are all broken down as we see the flight path. This time at least a tad bit better compared to the previous game that we ended at Purgatory.
Take का. Oh, take versus Pro. खत्म है bro. यहाँ से यहाँ मार रहा है. ये शॉट्स ले रहे हैं देखो. PDH versus Guns. PDH bro खत्म है.
Eliminations on that feed as well as team started off hot.
मुझे पहले उनका नॉक हुआ था. मुझे लगा ले लेंगे वो लोग डबल. तो उसने भाई 1v2 मार दिया.
Confirmation as the second one for Demon's Pride. Should be
Demon's Pride.
Jazzy though under
Demon's
fire.
Pride.
Pressure mounts. There is Apex nearby with
Demon's
Esports
Pride.
by their side.
Yeah, this is not the best of the battle, but look
Subscriber
at
count
Shoto.
ना.
He is look like a beast.
Subscriber count चलो करते हैं on. रुको.
Now again another opportunity that he wants to strike.
Subscriber count 2 मिनट. ये मैच के बाद करते हैं. ये मैच के बाद सब्सक्राइबर काउंट डाल देता है.
Quickly challenged by Demon's Pride. And Shoto going in for another revive. A couple of losses that they had, and Shoto gets all their players one after another back on
के
the
बाद
field.
सब्सक्राइबर काउंट डाल देते हैं इसी.
One last player left from Team Apex Gaming, and Shoto right now doing the magic to get the Apex back.
भाई 3 बंदे ओ हिल रिवाइव कर दिया DAG. वुल्विन ने शायद रिवाइव कर दिया. ओ भाई इवोस वर्सेस टीवी. इवोस ट्रस्ट कर रहे. इवोस वाले चढ़ रहे. मार देगा भाई. उसको पता था पोजीशन. डेमन्स प्राइड चले गए. एलिमिनेट हो गए. डेमन्स प्राइड गई.
Match number 11 this is, and Demon's Pride going out at this point makes their chances.
पास्ता जी वो कोई एडिटर ढूंढा ना शॉर्ट्स बनाने के लिए.
They'll be happy. However, tag not yet because Wolvin just got taken down by Lau.
भाई वापस
BZP and the team's very first elimination.
DAG साहिल कहाँ जा रहा है? साहिल जट किधर जा रहा है भाई? रिवाइव कर. अच्छा चारों बंदे हो गए. रिवाइव हो गए. मुझे लगा सब एकदम लाइव सब्सक्राइबर काउंट कर दूं. चलो रुको 1 मिनट दो मुझे.
Sorry RQ fans, you know it's true Conchita, I love you a lot. But I gotta say after match number 10, we already see
DAG शायद आ जाएगी ऊपर. 2 मिनट दो. मैं सब्सक्राइबर काउंट ऑन करने का सोच देख रहा हूँ.
highly unlikely.
तब
So now is the fight to not be in the bottom 2. But even then, with Demon's Pride out, they only have one more chance in match 12 to do so. Paradox hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They gotta find a revival.
ये क्या दोनों हिट कर रहे हैं? वो मुझे समझो ना. ये दोनों हिल ऑटो हिल हो जाता है. और भाई दिया ब्रो TC वाले दिए.
That was one of the players, but there's still a challenge coming in. Ray, he gets taken down. Titan Esports Club, they get challenged by Aurora, and look at the Axel's position. Completely unthought of, and Aurora taking this as an advantage. And Titan Esports Club, all they want is making sure they secure their survival stage chances. And a challenge coming in from
भाई Aurora को मार रहे हैं. भाई Aurora ने रेड ऑफ लिया.
They lose their players one after another, and it's only up to Kutush, and Kutush has always been the savior for this team.
Forced to slow the pace down. Not really close to his team, but the dynamic clear from top player confirms the absence of anyone there, so he can't get the revive going. Nameless and Cypher linked up. Shoto Grace Knight on the trap. Kutush with the full revival there. TAG racking up steady points. Next one fire actually finds due with a P90 of all things, so the sniper of AGL will need to be brought back, and that's will be the case. Slow makes that rotation. BZB wants to push the envelope.
रुको लाइव काउंट.
They are in the top 4, and as you said,
चलो लाइव काउंट्स डाल देते हैं अपन.
match 12 on board. AGAL trying to get closer to their booyah so that they can cascade in the champion rush. But right as now, Aurora, they're biding their chances, trying to get better, and they're picking on DRS one after another right at the vending machine at Zipway. Not even giving them a chance to breathe over there or even counteract
Wait a minute.
And look at that, instantly they go for a hit list and goes to Loud Gosha.
Aurora has 16 eliminations.
What?
What?
Yeah.
How
What?
much has happened?
That happened.
Wow.
16 elimination, bro.
Where did that happen? We'll see in the replays.
Yeah, that's it. We looked away. We looked away for just a little bit.
How does it possible, bro?
Thanks for not mentioning Aurora.
And Aurora,
16 eliminations.
they did trouble.
क्या comeback कर रहे हैं
Those are
इनके?
some of the eliminations that they managed to get. And right as now, being troubled is going to be Paradox. Falcons, in the meantime, they are trying to go in for a challenge. FGL being used to force on fire, not getting closer. Fire battling with fire, using a chrono, but not for long. And Zuez puts him down, and another back coming in. Aurora, 18 eliminations. It looks like Aurora are taking this chance as the top teams have decided to silence themselves, at least here on next era. Aurora are going all out. Another challenge, and Limit X7's positions compromised. Riptide his defense, not great. Azriel tried to jump closer. Unfortunately, the landing was not that great, but what can Limit do? He's stuck in a very hard spot, surrounded by the entirety of Aurora.
I'm missing, unfortunately, airballing the Riptide Rhythm is going to put him in a rough spot. I think Aurora really fueled by the early pickings that they've gotten. Now seems to looking to build themselves into an unstoppable fourth circle, move south. But if Aurora can clear out Limit from the area, they get such a stronghold in that area around Zipway. I think the best part of Aurora right now, again, chances of making it in the top 4, pretty much unlikely, but they could cement the position to one of the generation record run. Remember, so far today, the most elimination a team has gotten for themselves is 20.
Yeah.
Aurora is at 19, 18, 19, so they're already looking to break a record.
This is around the 7-minute mark, right at the end of the game. So Aurora, in a brilliant run, for the time being, even Evo's trying to stretch that towards 10 of their own elimination. Tag, they find Kutosho there. Seems like the elimination feed slowly, right now, lighting up one after another. AGAL picking off the last player of Paradox, and that is Sneaky out. And Paradox, just like Demon's Pride, their chances are looking bleak.
Really falling out of their hands. Some
बाद में डालते हैं अभी अभी थोड़ा इश्यू है तो बाद में डालते हैं डालते हैं सब काउंट बाद में
Then they will have a chance to bring it back. Maybe for Demon's Pride it's going to be an easier journey, but for Paradox it's a 20-point gap. And a lot of hope that TEC don't make it this round and the next.
It's going to be a difficult
इश्यू करेगा अभी डालूंगा ना तो वो एडवर्ड वो
fall and their own uprising, and especially with only one game to go after this. But on the other end, Loud, they have a challenge that's going to be DRS. They thought they were ahead of the game, but BCP, he was quickly surprised by DRS. But the challenge not yet done. Gosha was there out along with Aurora. 20 eliminations on the clock. Not yet 10 minutes. And Azriel going in for a chase. Pratik,
ब्रो और क्या मार रही है 20 एलिमिनेशन पॉइंट्स
behind the drop. And Aurora have not yet seen, but finally it's going to be the Axel. And DRS out of the run. However, Aurora roaring in this game.
आई क्या मार रही है अरोरा
Axel's face, he knows that the magic is being performed here. They might
अरोरा है ब्रो
for the highest elimination count in a round if this continues. They add a booyah on top of that, it might be the record for the most points in a single round.
Yep.
To be achieved and set by Aurora. Missing
Aurora
4
है
years
bro
on the international stage. I don't care if they win the trophy in the end. There is going to be them inscribed in the history books by the end of this one.
Yeah,
रन पे चल
at
रही
the
है अरोरा
Esports World Cup to break records is not at all easy. Titan Esports Club, their journey
We are back, guys. We are back.
and somehow they are above the chopping block for the time being, and especially maybe a blessing in disguise that both Demon's Pride and Paradox are out, so get that difference even bigger. That's what they have to act here at Deca Square. Right close to them, they have Team Apex Gaming to be worried about.
Best part is that with DRS being wiped out by Aurora, Titan Esports Club have a better chance now to ascend in the rankings. And not to mention booting Paradox down to the last spot. Race of hope for TEC. Evos
most team
quite this round. I think they were
थोड़ा
sitting
सांस ले ले
around 10 eliminations there. Want to move forward, potentially bump into Falcons. BRU.
Don't forget to like, guys.
Will be used. This is going to be quite the rotation. Straight in. Stealth bites by Russia. Going ahead. And guess who lays ahead? It's Aurora.
He might have the stealth bites and might be in cause for the time being, but right in front of Aurora. The only two teams right as now here in Nextera having double digits. Aurora and EVOS both next to each other. And it seems like EVOS do not want any fight of this. They're back off the compound. Move the different angle. Russia!
What?
He finds an opening on Jun. Do they continue
22 finishes, bro. 22 finishes, not a joke in EWC.
Always the consistent figure in the team, even in the darkest day of EVOS. Russia.
Guys, support your team.
Lean your shoulder upon. Even yesterday we
EVOS hai, bro.
EVOS is track record, right?
Yeah.
Russia is the one that enables everything. He's the one that lights the fuse and gives EVOS that second wind. Survivor and Dominator all packaged into one.
Lights, TNG on top, bro.
Maybe BRU will break the ice. They now make the presence into the circle.
Pasta hai, bro. देख रहे हैं ना? Pasta.
Against everybody, 4 points for
Pasta खा के आया है, आखिरी.
and surviving afloat. And I think right as in at least in
ये क्या ले रहा है? Coin.
whether it be the top 4, the middle order, because the chopping block teams are already out. They are under
क्या कर रहा है?
elimination.
It almost seems like they've already been placed the guillotine here.
Yeah.
At the EWC's terms, the Crusher.
This is silence just before a complete cascade of an action breaks out.
Yep.
Zones closing in. Falcons, a very big spread right
जोन कहाँ जाएगा पता है? ये TAG ये वाले पे जोन जाना चाहिए. ये थोड़ा TAG को बाहर आना पड़ेगा शायद. इधर जोन जाएगा ब्रो. मैं बोल रहा हूँ इधर जोन जाएगा. बोला ना थोड़ा जोन में जाना पड़ेगा. लाउड क्या भाई अरोरा सेंटर पे है. अरोरा बूया निकाल देगी. सोचो 40 पॉइंट निकाल जाएगी. 40 सीधा लाउड ने मारा था अरोरा. सोचो ब्रो. What? नेड़ आ गए. सोचो इधर कहीं भी रास्ता ब्लॉक कर सकते हैं. ये मस्त चीज है.
But on the other end, it is Team Apex Gaming. They decide to jump in, put limit itself down, but Kiroro acts quickly.
What?
Getting Aura down.
TAG आ गई है. TAG का गया.
Brilliant right as now. Falcons have him surrounded, cornered, zones closing, and Shoto is in deep troubles. However,
Shoto and Sahil is in deep troubles, bro.
with Shoto will be able to get one of their players back up.
जोन में जाना था इनको.
And this could be an opportunity for TEC to take advantage of. Get a couple of knocks down, whittle down the members of Falcons and give themselves a chance to move on forward.
Oh, क्या मार रहे Falcons?
And they will have to get that revive going.
टीम है इस जोन में. सोचो जोन देखो बस आप.
Not rotating, it's going to be detrimental.
गुरु भी आ रही है. कार लेके घुस जाएगी. देखना. गुरु आ रही. कार लेके घुस जाएगी. और आगे ऊपर.
As they crash through, hops on top of the roof. Falcons wipes out the members of AGAL.
AGL going out. Aurora have a chance to make the
कार आई ऊपर. भाई क्लास जोन में भी कार आ जाती है. सुपर जेट एंड रॉयल पास इन BGMI. ये तो सही बात है. सुपर जेट का क्या. उफ 1 टेप दिया. TC भी गई. TAG भी गई. 5 enemies पॉइंट मिला सिर्फ. ब्रो क्या खेल रहे. चारों एक पत्थर पे खड़े. अगर BGMI में चारों ऐसे बैठे हुए नेड आ जाए. सोचो इसमें देखो ये क्या पोस्टर है. मस्त है. सोचो क्या मस्त खेल रहे.
clutch factor of BRU no longer in the conversation. And Aurora,
खेल तो अच्छा रहा है.
confidence, newfound hope now takes on BRU, and they are on top of the roof.
A fight between Loud as well as
Loud and Evos. Just imagine Aurora का बुया.
but it goes towards Aurora. The axle's down, but they are quickly recovering. That's the best part, as you said, they are not overheating. Jun, he stepped out, quickly spotted multiple players and backed out. On the other
Aurora का घर आया भाई. 25 पॉइंट ऑलरेडी है. घर वो बुया निकाल गए.
into the compound, pummeling bullets towards Falcons as they did trouble Buriram.
ब्रो क्या खेल रहे हो? Aurora का ही है ये गेम देखना. 26 सोचो हाइट ले ली. हाइट ले ली अब. 26 पॉइंट. लाउड ही अकेला बंदा है. फाल्कन है तो गया उसने फाल्कन वाले ने मार दिया. अब Aurora was क्या खेल रही है भाई Aurora. मस्त है. हाइट ले ली भाई. रिकॉर्ड तोड़ने वाली है. रिकॉर्ड तोड़ने वाली है. इसकी पोजीशन अगर हाँ पता होगी फायर किया था अभी. इसकी पोजीशन पता है.
Breaking a record if possible. Evos have to set themselves up. Like how we've seen Aurora, they have their elimination spread across all the 4 players. 6, 7, all of that has been seen, but we saw Evos themselves at the end.
क्या कर रहे हैं?
Calm-headed, with fun in their name, with 6, 7 already being done by Russia. But can they actually pull off something like that against Aurora, who are looking like the Goliaths in this game?
भाई क्या क्या मार रही है. It's Aurora versus Aurora versus Evos. ब्लॉक कर दिया भाई Aurora वालों ने. ये लोगों देखो ना Aurora है तो Aurora वालों ने Evos को ब्लॉक मार दिया है. इधर से एंट्री नहीं करने देंगे. वो फाल्कन वाला बेचारा ऊपर में खड़ा है. वो खत्म है. फाल्कन ब्रो मार दिया उसको. इसने मारा Aurora है. 27 फिनिशेस सोचो ब्रो. 27 फिनिशेस.
The best possibility for Aurora is they have cornered them. They've closed out every opening on Evos.
सही बात है. सारी ओपनिंग बंद कर दी है. अब उनके पास पूरा बाहर का एडवांटेज है और Evos को बाहर आना पड़ेगा. क्या मैच है ब्रो. ये क्या मैच है. अब Aurora तीनों लोग ये तीनों बाहर जाएंगे. ये तीनों चढ़ जाएंगे ऊपर से. इसको क्या एंगल है देखो. किसी को पता ही नहीं है उसकी पोजीशन.
It will come down to a battle, but look at Aurora using all their glue walls, making sure Evos does not head out. They're hoping that this zone shrinks in their favor.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
waiting for an opportunity. Evos also not trying to rush out. This might come down to just their HP.
Is it really going to be hitting better Ezreal? Not able to sneak in.
छत वाला ले जाएगा ब्रो. छत वाला ले जाएगा. 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 Oof, 13. इसके एक के पास 13 है. एक के पास 7 है. Evos ले गई ब्रो. सोच रिकॉर्ड को क्या था. रिकॉर्ड तोड़ दे के Aurora वाले. Evos है टीम ब्रो. Evos टीम मस्त है. 2 मिनट.
Boxing, Jane. We did look for standings will change, but this has at least kept Aurora in the game. And you know, for Evos, they know what the plan of Aurora was. They were prepped to play that healing game. What an impressive round, honestly, from the Malaysian team. I think it is something that, you know, we saw back in the SCA, back in spring. The good games of Aurora are the games that they are willing to make these moves and take on the fight, and god damn, they did it well.
Yeah, I wish for this fight to break out in their favor. They should have gone for it a little ahead.
I agree.
But yeah, there was even electrotherapy being used by Evos. That also helped out Mavxx over there. And that's what we talk about, these minute things, you having the skills ready for those final battles. It helped out Evos over there. Aurora otherwise maybe could have had their own big one. Let's hear them.
I was ready for a bloodbath, honestly. I was so ready for Aurora to just run in, duke it out, throw haymakers, and see what happens. They chose the safe way, but again, no harm, no foul there, you know?
We've been seeing these teams who have had their booyahs and their comms right at the very end. It has not been hectic at all. And in this bed we saw comms, they're like, hey, we understand what Aurora are trying to do. Let's do the same thing. It worked out for Evos.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even see Evos trying to force their way out from the boxing gym. Right? They're like, I guess we chill. I guess we chill, and then we try to...
We 6-7.
We 6-7, right? And so we got 6-7. Game 6 is coming up. But of course, before we get to that, we got to see what's going on in the rest of VWC.
Behind me, there's a machine. I don't really understand how to play or how to use it, so I'm gonna ask this man right here. Hello. So can you explain how can we use or play this? Because I really want to give a try.
Yes, so it's easy. I will push the start button and you will have 5 seconds to prepare and it will start falling down. You will have to catch them all, so there are 10 in totals. And once you catch one, you can drop it on the floor.
Wow, this game is gonna be very hard. It's about flexible testing. Okay, let's see if I can do it or not.
It's last match tour, 1 match tour. शेड्यूल वाला अच्छा खेलना चाहिए तो ब्रेक है थोड़ा आराम कर देते हैं रेस्ट करें
Well, at least I got 2. I think it's a good game to testing your flexible, and of course my hat is falling off, but this one is pretty fun for exercise. Let's move to the next one.
From that last map, I mean ending it with a healing game and a record almost broken. Can you believe this, AJ?
I can definitely believe it. What?
Crazy.
Yeah.
We started off the day with Booyahs from TAG, and they had 2 of them despite struggling yesterday. And AGAL still rampaging and finally clinching in that Booyahs as well.
Absolutely. It's just Chuck Day India all day long. This is the moment for Team Apex Gaming to rise up to the occasion. They clearly knew it. Yesterday was a warm-up day for them, right? I wasn't too concerned about them at all because we've seen the way India plays, and it is all about the patience. It's all about reading and understanding the rotations of the other teams and then going in for the strike when you truly need to.
Two minutes. Break it. मुझे मजाक लग रहा है तू सही। ये क्या दोनों कर रहे हैं, वो मुझे समझो ना। ये दोनों सोचो क्या मस्त खेल रहे हैं।
Use or play this because I really want to give a try.
Yes, so it's easy. I will push the start button and you will have 5 seconds to prepare and it will start falling down. You will have
सोचो 5-10 मिनट का ब्रेक है, आया 2 मिनट में फ्लैश मैच शुरू होने वाला है। ऑलमोस्ट हो गया है। इसकी कुर्सी देखो चेहरेगी। रुको मैं तर्जुम करता हूँ।
Better to tell us what will be happening in the last map. Other casters, we have Lucifer and also Husky.
You are damn right, Tash and AJ. Last match of Group A. And we are about to see some dreams get crushed in this brutal reality of an international competition. Paradox Gaming down at the bottom, followed by Demon's Pride in 11th place. But there is still hope. Even a slight glimmer is what might make the difference for these two teams. We saw TEC, they ran away with the previous map thanks to a bit of intervention.
1000 subscriber में से इसे वर्किंग आउट
make it
मिलेगा।
spot, but for Demon's Pride,
इस जिसने
for the Pride
सब्सक्राइब
of
किया है
Pakistan,
सबको
that journey
मिलेगा।
might be slightly extended if they just get a good round.
It needs to be the greatest of rounds for both Paradox and Demon's Pride, as this is the last game for Group A, match number 12, and it starts now with Paradox already taking a dive towards Moat House, but they have trouble. That's going to be DRS, not the great journey as they dive out very first. Sneaky, however, has taken a dive in the other direction, but very close is even Demon's Pride. Both the ones almost at the bottom, out of the race, but very close. This is unfortunate.
ये जी को सर्वाइवल करना है। लाइक करो, जो भी नया है सब्सक्राइब करो।
Making a home look a bit glim that L2K doing the same to Enrique.
ब्रो इडियट्स वाले घुस गए ब्रो, इडियट्स वाले घुस गए ब्रो इतनी जल्दी।
This is not looking great. Windy, he wants to do something, has a vector on hand, but can he do something brilliant? Skill ready, but he doesn't even get to use a single bullet, and he gets taken down by Pratik. The P90 putting him down, but
स्नीकी यहाँ से कवर देने की ट्राई कर रहा है। स्नीकी कवर देने की ट्राई कर रहा है।
Paradox need to recover. They need to understand the stakes right now. And if they get eliminated so early, the result for sure is elimination.
Not only that, you also feel
एलिमिनेट हो जाएगी अगर यहाँ से गई तो ब्रो।
and that means
ही इज फाइंडिंग वेंडिंग मशीन। वेंडिंग मशीन का चीज पता है आपको? वेंडिंग मशीन क्या होता है कि वहां से रिकॉल कर सकते हो आप कॉइन यूज करके। स्नीकी पे ऊपर रश हो गया, पर आलू को मार दिया भाई। स्नीकी ने आलू को मार दिया। स्नीकी ट्राई कर रहा है भाई। It's up to now last man of Paradox.
They also need points.
Paradox के लास्ट बंदे के ऊपर है सब कुछ।
But DRS, they're safe and sound, so battling with DRS could be trouble. And they've looked better so far in the entire.
DRS के लास्ट बंदे के ऊपर। TAG ओपन में भाई, TAG में होप्स और TAG को पोजीशन मिल जाए। औरोरा के सामने है ब्रो। TAG स्पैम करो, आपके फेवरेट टीम का नाम स्पैम करेगा इस। आपको क्या लगता है ये किसका बुया होगा? किसका बुया होगा? ओ
at least for Demon's Pride and Paradox, they're still in it.
दोनों ओपन में थे ब्रो। TAG ब्रो रिकॉल हो सकते हैं फिर भी रिकॉल हो सकते हैं ना, शायद रिकॉल हो सकते हैं।
If they can at least end on a high note, do it like what Aurora did in the previous round.
लाइक करो 6 लाइक क्या 10 लाइक कर सकते हैं क्या? 10 लाइक।
So his life at this point, losing it out is okay, but on the other hand, as you did mention, going out with a bang is something that
भाई इतनी जल्दी लूट मिल जाती है इन लोगों को, अच्छी बात है। ये बहुत फास्ट गेम है फ्री फायर, बहुत फास्ट है। यूएस AGL पे है। AGL किस कंट्री की? साउथ ईस्ट एशियन।
Force and AGAL. Not yet found an opening. Bullets being exchanged on either end.
ओ भाई ये पीछे वाला सरप्राइज दे देगा, पीछे वाला सरप्राइज दे देगा. It's
Not yet there. Aim got running right across. Ray is confirmed.
जो भी नहीं है उसको बता दो, esports वर्ल्ड कप चल रहा है, उसकी वॉच पार्टी कर रहा हूँ गाइस. सब्सक्राइब कर दे इसी वॉच पार्टी और देखने के लिए. इवोस अकेला एम गॉड बचाए ब्रो भाई, दे दिए, उसको भी दे दिया, उसको भी दे दिया. क्या जंप मारा देखा.
As the feet continue to light up with some of the bottom teams, Strox finding his fourth on the sneaky. Jazzy picked up by Get High. Things continue to develop in a negative way for Demon's Pride and Paradox.
Very good.
To find a way to get woven back into action.
रिकॉल कर दिया गया, उसने रिकॉल किया, मेरा ध्यान नहीं था. रिकॉल किया क्या, बताओ ना.
Falcons at central, a UAV to scan. They do not find anything. On the other end, Aurora, we spoke about this. After almost a record-breaking performance, this last game of Purgatory is now working in their favor. Last time it was Jun, this time it's the Axel. On the other end, DRS is still hitting on Paradox, getting extra eliminations from them. Quick on the revive, thankfully had enough coins to get the whole squad back up. What is this again?
रिकॉल कर दिया गया पैराडॉक्स वालों ने.
And Windy quick on the revive. Madara had the same intention as well, but
रिवाइव कर दिया.
Madara who gets that elimination, and that's going to be a second. But DRS is still close by.
रिवाइव कर दिया दोनों को.
Paradox keep going at it like this.
पैराडॉक्स के सामने DRS से.
Not work out because TEC they've already picked up 5 eliminations of this game.
With top 16 going
It's
down.
DRS versus.
Again, a reset, a hard reset.
Sorry guys, sorry. माफ करें.
It's gonna be tough, Sneaky, losing out again. And like you said, Lucifer, this cycle of point churning, if it's not into the pockets of Paradox and Demon's Pride, there's no chance.
Not sure what the thought was. Maybe they both wanted to go for a drop clash, and DRS ended up becoming the surprise. And DRS are getting those extra points at the time being. TEC in the meantime, they are getting their own eliminations. They're already, we saw just before this, at 80 points. So a
zone case करने का time आ गया.
and Paradox, and especially they're losing players one after another.
इधर जाएगा ये.
Somebody has taken the most eliminations away from them, and it's going to be Sci-Fi, and that's
ये
what
कराएगा.
I'm pretty sure every fan of AGL will be happy to see. Yeah.
ये आएगा zone में.
In first place. At least
ये लग रहा है. ये.
The previous clash
देखा ये.
is the most damage.
ने बोला ना.
Damage dealer, and no one could get close to him.
Yeah.
Even though they
Okay,
didn't win the whole
guys.
thing, and that's the craziest part. Wasana actually getting removed, but now coming to life, Gun Dynasty. That's exactly what they need.
Maybe the last game, but still, give it your all. A warning to the teams who will make it to the survival stage. That's what Gun Dynasty need to look forward to. Paradox, in the meantime, do get another revive again to their teammates. But driving away their chances, a Titan Esports club from Bangladesh, something that we were looking forward to. When we speak about South Asia, yes, India now looking great, especially after TAG getting 2 booyahs. I'm pretty sure teams from Bangladesh would want to do it because there's Straw Hats in our Group B as well. They've not looked great. At least Titan Esports club have taken it up a notch.
And it could be.
He was a
Yeah.
And no, it's the first time for South Asia, but they have had a slight taste for this. But for USA, absolute first time. Demon's Pride, unfortunately, the journey might have just ended here at the foothill of VWC 26. All eyes now on TEC and Paradox. 27 points to tie. The highest of mountains for Paradox to climb, but they're still in it.
These are the numbers that we kind of talk about when teams need to get to champion rush. How far are they? How can they deny teams? But right as now, it's about staying alive. And that's going to be an even tougher task to dabble and work around. And I think Paradox, they have a long statement to do if they have to put up a performance like this. Because we've not seen so far, 11 games they've played, we've not seen them pull off a double-digit game.
Yeah, it would be a lot more reassuring if TC didn't also have 8 eliminations under the belt.
Yeah.
The break even. And that is going to only make things harder as more teams get removed. Strox taken out by BZP. It's a good time to kind of lay it out on the table as well. This last round, a lot of what's happening is inconsequential if it doesn't directly affect Paradox.
Paradox, every time they take a step, they are either surrounded by DRS or being challenged by somebody else.
Yep.
This time at least, they've fended off DRS. It's only going to be Pratik and they instantly surround him.
Nice.
Quick on the take is going to be Sneaky. Happy on that elimination is also going to be Paradox. But they're not out of elimination. Loud is getting closer at that ski lodge's end. Forge is above. Can they forge their very own key that stays alive? At this point, it looks tougher than ever.
And remember, with their elimination, they tie up with TEC again.
Yeah.
27 points, the count starts here. Enough bodies to go through, but with the right placement points.
Not the best challenge right they have. DRS, they somehow were able to fend off. You can see Takuri did get the whole squad back, but look at Loud. This is the challenge. Directly in. And Trap puts the player from Paradox down. He spots them from afar, thankfully. None of the players from Paradox were close by, and Loud did just get one and tried to back off, but now Nyx has spotted them. That will instantly tell Loud to go for the next fight.
Yeah, forget about a hit and run. How about hit you straight? Again, Paradox sent on the run again. You look at the radar, Paradox actually have a good spot to not only get the revive, but...
Sneaky ने revive दे दिया सारा को. Sneaky ने revive दे दिया.
Reset again. But for Loud, they've already cemented their 4th spot. Really doesn't matter how this round turns out. Falcons, impossible to make it to grand finals. We'll have to play for survival. Gun Dynasty continues to make a statement on the feed as well, taking out Pratik. Spinel is the one that breathes life into the team. BRU as well, finding a recovery. It's Gun Dynasty under the lightning zone, challenged by AJL and deal best Spinel.
2 shots looking for the second on David, but Cypher was close.
One tap दे दिया bro.
David goes down, even Vega gets taken. This is AGL looking forward to their run at that champion rush, and now Loud has a challenge right in front of them. Can they take them down? Damage already being done. Their Scour Fire is not going to work out. Trap gets taken down. That's due for you. Due looking forward to another challenge with Nick. Trap getting confirmed. Cypher puts BZP down. Now Nick gets closer to Due in that CQC. It's going to be Nick delivering for
भाई क्या fight चल रही मस्त मस्त.
That only Brazil will prevail, but unfortunately AGL will remind him that the true kings so far are still the ties, and Loud will have to take a bow now. Guaksha brings Trap back in. Another reset for us. Aurora blowing all.
TG versus PDH. ये वही ना मैं ये fight है.
And a rough round ahead of them. Only one remaining survivor.
TG ये इनको पता है TG गंदा.
PRU right in front of them. The Paradox can get to this hurdle. Gotta start with TAG.
Third party कर रही है. Brew देखो third party कर रही है.
But they have to if they want their chances at
Brew
Esports
देखना
26
पीछे है.
survival stage right here in Paris. And Tag right now closed off. Instant dash coming through.
भाई विंडी को मार दिया.
Denying Paradox an opportunity. However, KD been exchanged. That confirmation will not
भाई
work
triple
through.
kill मार दिया.
They do actually, and Shoto trades it off with one of his own.
3 kill मार दिए शॉटो ने भाई.
But bailed out by Windy with his life, with his dying breath. Enrique now with the challenge.
भाई क्या मार रहे हैं TG वाले. अकेला बंदा बाकी है. अकेला बंदा बाकी है. ब्रू भी आ गई. ब्रू भी आ गई. ब्रू को मार दिया. Paradox eliminate हो गई. Paradox eliminate हो गई.
So Buriram, they are also at a disadvantage. They also need to decide to pick it up. And looking at the best spot is going to be Team Apex Gaming. In the meantime, as Paradox has gone out, the troubles for Titan Esports Club have vanished. They did lose a player, but I'm pretty sure the threat of somebody else raking up a lot of points is not something that they will be worried about. Najat is the last one. A nice hit coming in from Ray, denying Aurora and eliminating them. Evos, they use their binoculars, they spot 7 players. And that's going to be Loud, that's going to be Buriram along
Loud versus TAG. ये TAG अकेला बंदा बचा है.
He's behind all the enemies who've already made it inside the circle, and I think Titan Esports Club are making sure no second chances left to anybody, that they still
मजा आने वाला है.
and they qualify, make it to the survival stage at least.
Yep, they've done just enough for another 10 rounds tomorrow. So from this point onwards, there's no more consequences to whatever happens. But it'd be nice to get the booyah to add on to their record. And GD, they're doing the Aurora run, man, Lucifer.
Yeah.
18 eliminations.
They've gone big. Gun Dynasty now in a cluster though. Loud has spotted Nejad, so for his survival it looks not that great. He should be picked off very soon. Team Apex Gaming, they've been holding in that tent for far too long. Their position was already compromised when Buriram made the entry, but Buriram, now they have an attention to pay to somebody else. That's going to be
TAG versus Murilla versus Guns Demon. Team Apex hold मार दिया.
No other team is getting an allowance like that, and now Gun Dynasty, they have more
Gun
challenges
Dynasty.
in front of them as Evos walks up.
And BRU is listening in closely in separate tent as well.
TAG ने Evos को मारा.
Russia will have to spend
वहाँ से net throw कर रहा है guys.
American speeds up the process. Loud taking care of Ninja. The Titan Esports Club are writing their last. But again, just enough to make it to tomorrow. But Loud now have distance, great angles to intervene in this 4-way fight happening right in front of them.
Last 5 teams, out of which only one team has all their 4 players surviving. That's going to be Evos. Sahil Jad, Shairu did blow over
TAG
the
versus
place to enter the doorway, but it did not work out. Sahil Jad was holding it off. BZP on the other end is spotting the entirety of Gun Dynasty. The chrono for the time
Loud के ऊपर चढ़ गए. Gun Dynasty Loud के ऊपर चढ़ गई. भाई दिया ओए पंगे ले लिया.
Players from Loud get taken down, and Gun Dynasty get eliminations raked up. Hit it to 21.
They tried to save David, but the blue zone hurt too much. Attempted Grand Theft Auto by Loud. Punish in the loss of GD. Rasha getting tagged from afar. Benel and Shiru both going big. Circle closing in less than 10. Evos now on the aggression. Inching closer and closer to a GD. This is great for BRU and TAG, and I believe we've seen this before earlier today.
Just like what Evos ended up doing on day 1, showing why they're the defending champions. Now they're closer to one more for themselves. However, Gun Dynasty, they do not want to give them a chance. They want to make sure this last game, everybody gets to know their name once again, just like they made it on day 1. Chrono being used. Evos get closer, damage being done, and that chrono will protect Gun Dynasty for the time being.
The circle is moving. BRU calls dips on that. Team Apex Gaming staying behind, but the last 2 times they did that, they won the round.
Yeah.
But this time, they have one lesser member. They don't have KD God with him. But they still have Shoto.
Every time fight breaks out between 3 teams, it's always Team Apex Gaming have an advantage. So they want to wish Evos and Buriram go fight against each other, but it looks like Evos have their clear intention of who they're going to take this fight against.
Evos clearly have the numbers advantage.
Blue
starting to run TAG forced to take the long road. That's going to cost them some help. Masana already waiting in the flank. The point guard of BRU in this encounter.
BRU पास बहुत सब है.
Back by Moshi. Avax needs to get something done right now.
भाई क्या खेल रहे हैं?
Shoto certainly does, as he takes down the young prince of BRU. Woven finds one onto Evos. Avex response is on the Moshi. That's the execution.
It's वापस comeback कर रही है.
Seems to be the target. Shoto gunned down by Rashapa moving. Picks him back up. Drops the dough. TAG are so close.
Another opportunity for them. Team Apex Gaming.
TAG versus CY उससे भाई.
But they have a lot of hopes. With the
3 versus 4 है guys. Disadvantage है.
Nice shot coming in from Aimgod, falling
But-
through Wolverine. The last man is a savior. Can he do something for
Oh,
them?
he was too high.
Shuts them down, and that's going to be Evos, your defending champions of EWC. Looking forward to making sure they have a statement at the end of Group A games.
Last match था.
Back booyahs to close out the group stage. At least for Group A, Evos
सात आउट हुए थे ना.
a statement indeed.
तब आप देखो ये.
1 year difference. Since 25, since they hoisted that trophy, they have been on a slump. People were wondering if that is it for Evos. So much doubt throughout fall, throughout Global Finals 2025, throughout spring. And here they are, 2 good days in a row. And that's Paradox Gaming on your screens. The rep from Africa. All love. But throughout all of that, BRU have done more than enough. They are going to be the ones that tops Group A.
What a game coming in from Buriram. I think while we talk about teams of consistency, right? They showed us what consistency means. Yes, this game and the previous one are back-to-back Booyah pulled off by Evos, showing why and what they are, what they're looking forward to in EWC 26. But consistency is the key. That's what everybody wants to place inside the shield. And maybe Buriram might be writing it for themselves.
Let's listen in on what Evos is talking about with that win in the final round. Imgo standing up before the fight even ends, but hey, it's set in stone. Even though Evos, they got that back-to-back Booyah, but again, Buriram United Esports done more than enough to be at the top of the group, and you know what that means, Lucifer.
Yeah.
They're gonna pull the trigger.
They will. 2 keys will be crushed. And for Imgo to stand up like that, he knew what was happening. He had taken 2 of the players of tag down, so he knew his teammates in a 3v1 will pull it off. And it eventually did work out. Evos. But you can see at the biggest of stages, this is how the part and parcel of competition is. Paradox, they're happy on one end that they were able to make it to such a big stage, represent their region, and put a performance that they could deliver on. And on the other end, Demon's Pride, this was their very first time from their region, and they wanted to make sure they put up a big performance. They tried their best, but the level of Group A being the toughest did trouble them.
Yep. Of course, the Latam fans here in full force, and that's just a fraction of it. I mean, for Africa, it's the first time for the region, but for Pakistan, it's not the first year.
Yeah.
And that's the contrast that we see on the stage right now. They can still walk back with their heads held high because they have done more than enough to showcase their best on the world stage, and I'm pretty sure there's more to come.
There is a lot. That's what we look forward to from every team whenever they step up on a stage like this. And this is how we love to see things like this. But on stage, we have Barney ready. Let's send it to him.
Well, 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 an exciting day, and Group A has now come to a close. 6 teams have secured a spot in the survival stage. 4 have made it through to the grand finals directly, and 2 are gonna go home. And so that's what we're here to do right now. But first, I'm gonna have a little interview with Buriram United Esports, because what a dominant day. Okay, let's set the scene, okay? Let's go back in time, your journey to this point. World champions in 2025. 5th in the regional finals, so not obviously, you didn't match your expectations for that, but now dominating in the group stage at the Esports World Cup, that's got to boost your confidence, right, Rosanna?
ก็ก่อนอื่นเลยนะครับขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยนะครับกับผลงานในวันนี้ออกไปในทางยอดเยี่ยมเลยทีเดียวนะครับแต่ว่าก่อนอื่นเนี่ยขอย้อนเวลากลับไปในปีที่แล้วสักนิดนึงใน global ในเวที global tournament นะฮะหรือว่าในเวทีระดับ region นะฮะเราจบที่ 5ซึ่งแบบว่าผลงานไม่ได้ไปตามทางที่เราหวังมากนักอยากทราบว่าในวันนี้เนี่ยเรารู้สึกยังไงกันบ้างฮะ
ก็วันนี้ก็ทำได้แล้วครับก็ทำให้เห็นแล้วก็ใช่ไหมพี่ผมตอบถูกไหมนะฮะก็คือก็ดีใจครับแค่นั้นเลย
Yeah, actually we are very happy and excited that we finally be able to like prove ourselves that we deserve to be here to become the world champ of this year.
I like that. Now, one thing that all these teams are chasing, obviously, whilst we're here, is consistency. And it seems like you guys have that in absolutely mountainous amounts because you guys managed to secure 3 booyahs yesterday. Today, not so many. However, you're still putting up points every single game. What does it mean to have these teammates with you and performing so well here on the main stage?
ก็ในเวทีการแข่งขัน EWC 2026 นะกรุงปารีสนะฮะในกรุ๊ปสเตจทั้ง2วันนี้เนี่ยเราทำผลงานออกมาได้ดีทั้ง2วันเลยถึงแม้ว่าในเมื่อวานเราได้ทำบูย่าไปทั้งหมด3ครั้งด้วยกันแต่วันนี้เนี่ยถึงแม้ว่าเราจะไม่ได้บูย่าเลยแม้แต่ครั้งเดียวแต่เรายังได้แต้มทุกเสมอทุกเกมเลยนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงกันบ้างครับผม
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับก็ได้ตามซ้อมตามแผนที่เตรียมมาครับผมว่าคะแนนประมาณนี้พวกผมก็ทำได้เป็นเรื่องปกติอยู่แล้วก็ไม่ได้รู้สึกดีใจหรืออะไรครับแค่รู้สึกพอใจตัวเองมากกว่าที่ทำได้ตามฟอร์มครับ
Yeah, actually we are pretty happy and satisfied with our performance because like this is supposed to be our true form and true power. So if we can do it like this over and over again, I think we're going to be able to claim the champ trophy.
I like to hear that. I like the confidence. It's good. Now, gentlemen, it's time to join me. Come on, walk with me. This right here, this is called the Crusher. And as you can imagine, we're going to crush some hopes, going to crush some dreams, and crush some keys. Like I'll remind you, we have 2 teams who have been eliminated from the competition. They need to have their keys crushed. And so, we're going to start things off. Would you like to press this button?
กดปุ่มเลยครับ
It's going to open up. It's going to reveal the teeth. It looks menacing. Let's be honest. We're going to crush these keys. Okay, Wasana, would you like to gently pull on this lever and send them home? Is there anything you would like to say to your teams before we crush them?
ก่อนที่เราจะดึงคันโยกลงมานะเพื่อส่งดึกคีย์ทั้ง2อันลงไปเนี่ยมีอะไรอยากจะฝากบอกทุกทีมเลยไหมฮะกับแล้วก็2ทีมนี้ด้วยไม่เป็นไรครับเก่งแล้วแต่ผมเก่งกว่าครับโทษที Yeah DG, nice try, but we are better than you guys. Sorry.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. Okay, pull that lever in 3, 2, 1. Send them home. And just like that, 2 teams have been eliminated from Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2026. But don't go anywhere because 2 more teams will be eliminated later today. And as we get those groups prepped, we're going to head back to the studio before we continue with day number 2. Now, something that really hits close to home, and one of the things that we cherish the most here at the Esports World Cup is support for our players on the main stage. And one of the most incredible things is, of course, when families, fathers, sons, brothers, mothers are here to cheer for their children and for their siblings on the main stage. It truly is amazing. I've got Shailesh here joining me, Shoto's father from Team Apex Gaming. Shailesh, tell me what it's like being a dad. I'm a dad. I have a 4-year-old son. What is it like to cheer for your son on the main stage at an event like this?
It's great to cheer for your son, especially if he's an 18-year-old son and who is doing something which I don't understand. So you can imagine it's very difficult to cheer for him. But once he won the Indian Championships, before that I was a tough opponent of his. I used to refuse and deny him whatever he asked for. But after he won that, I knew he was passionate about this game. So you can imagine I've got 4 other family members with me. I have spent so much money to come here to support him. So that says it all. Now I am one of his biggest fans.
I love that. We managed to convert you to being a fan of esports. That's brilliant. Madhvi, what is it like being here as a mum? I think that one of the most important things is to teach your children to chase their dreams, right? And now Shoto is chasing his. How does that feel?
It's a proud moment for me as a mother. He's playing very well
enjoying.
He's playing incredibly well, especially today. After yesterday, okay? Yesterday was a struggle, an uphill battle. Today they're playing so well. Yeah, tell me how it feels.
Yeah, I think 2 games is quite the progress, I would say, because I think yesterday it was kind of a struggle for almost every single player in their team. But finally they have proved themselves and made a great comeback, which I'm sure a lot of people, even in our home country, India, are proud of.
I love it.
Shoto's family is going to be happy because Tag is going to survival stage, as we saw the first keys being crushed here for Free Fire at EWC 26, none other than Demon Pride and PDX, but we'll talk about that later because we're going to be talking about the teams that are in the top 4 and will be going to the finals. One of them, Buriram. Very consistent 2 days.
Yeah, consistent as heck, but it seemed like they did run out a little bit of speed from day number 1. I felt day number 1 was explosive for them, and it felt like today they're maybe in power saving mode, but after all, they're still up there in the lead. Do they really need to rush a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Loud was on power saving mode as well. They didn't really need to do much. They have managed to save Titan Esports Club, TEC. Many doubters out there. Of course, tons of supporters as well. They have managed to save themselves from relegation.
Just barely. It feels like just barely, because at the beginning of the day, I mean, throughout the day too, that squad was just there in contention, doing enough to what it took to keep them away from those bottom 2. But the way you were talking about Gun Dynasty, that's a team that slowed down in a big way.
Yeah.
Lace, boy, did they slow down in another squad that was kind of able to bring it back up, as we see the top 4 teams that will be moving on to the grand finals was Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, Team Falcons, you know, I sort of said that this is something that they need to showcase a little bit more grunt into it, and boy, did they do that. So from up to about 10 matches, they were about 9.4 average kills